as they take care of business on home ice, win game 3 and 4. Last night, 3-2, they had a 3-0 lead. PA made it very interesting in the third period, but the Oil Kings, I thought, did a great job of holding them off and win the game. And so now they will travel to play PA in PA tomorrow night. And then if the Raiders win, game 6 will be Sunday, 4:00 in the afternoon in Edmonton, and should be a pretty good crowd. Speaking of the WHL, got Gavin McKenna kid. Oof, he's pretty good. He has 14 points in the first 4 playoff games for Medicine Hat in that series against Swift Current. Swift Current's giving him everything they got, man. I'll give him credit. They're giving him everything they got so far in that series, but they just don't really have an answer for McKenna, and not many people do. The guy's got 37 points in his last 9 games. 5 in the regular season, 4 in the playoff. So pretty good run for young McKenna. Also, I think we're going to hear, we heard about Josh Szymanski. Szymanski, of course, who the Oilers signed, big young German forward. And I think we're going to line up with his GM of the Straubing Tigers, Jason Dunham. So we're hoping to get Jason on the show here right away. So we'll just see if we can connect with that. So we'll see where it goes. Should be good. As always, Gregor Show is presented by PlayAlberta.ca. It's Thursday, the Daily Grand, your chance to win $1,000 a day. For the next 20 years, $7.3 million. That is a pretty good deal. So get your tickets, PlayAlberta.ca. Also, the Oilers, no surprise, pretty big favorite tonight on the road against the Sharks. You can get involved, 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440 in our E-Well inbox. Lots of texts coming in already on the Oilers. I know some of you are upset about Rodrigue. Hey, man, I don't make the decision, but Pickard's starting. And I think there's a few things at play here. Number one, I think the coach recognizes, hey, the importance of this game. You want to send a message to your team. We're here to win. Now, ultimately, I don't think it should matter who's in goal against the Sharks. If you play well enough, your goalie, he's not going to have to stand on his head. That's just the truth. So if they do that, then I think they're fine. So you know what? Now, coach is still going with Pickard, maybe to keep the guys in tight. And I think just to continue the orders, we started to see it. Now, remember, it was actually literally a month ago today that I wrote the article. We talked about it on the show. I did all the numbers and how the Oilers, the one thing I'd seen was a drastic reduction in their physical play. Not just across the league because they were the lowest in the league by a mile, but just from themselves in the previous 3 years, their hits were down 40%. You know what's happened in their last 40 games? Guess what? Their hits have jumped up significantly and pretty much across the board, every player. Now, the Oilers were never, even when they were, 40% higher in their hits, they weren't a team that was crushing you physically, right? That wasn't their MO. So I don't expect the Oilers to have to run around and just pound guys, right? It's not what they do. But they are better when they're physical. And to me, it's not a surprise that all of a sudden their physical play has ratcheted up in the last 14 games. We saw anybody watch that Vegas game, you see them more aggressive on the forecheck, and it's pretty much every play. There's actually only 3 guys who have had lower hits. And most of the guys are like double. Like Matthias Janmark, first 60 games, he was at 1.43 hits per 60. Now he's up at 4.44. Right? Now that's a guy, depth guy. Jeff Skinner. Jeff Skinner, I think, has played way better lately. Look at his physicality. He's up to 5.1 hits per 60. Just adding different elements to your game. Victor Arvidsson, you go up and down the list. Heck, Victor Arvidsson has 4 goals in the last 8 games. He's been way more engaged. And his minutes played reflect it. Coach is seeing more that he likes from Arvidsson. The last 6 games is the longest stretch since October when it comes to Arvidsson playing 15 minutes a night. So you can see the coach is seeing maybe what we're seeing, what you're seeing. Certain guys are playing better. They're getting more minutes, which is how it should be in the NHL. You play better, you get rewarded, and that's what's happening right now for some members of the Edmonton Oilers. And I think they are now flipping the switch is probably unfair, but many of you in your homes, you have the dimmer switch, right? You ride it up, you ride it down. So maybe it's not just a quick flip, but it's like a gradual. Oh, you know what? Jeez, let's keep it low. And it's like, Connor Halley on a Saturday night, and he's trying to, get his wife Ashley in the mood, so he's got the dimmers on really low. There's that side. Then there's the other side, right? Declan's always got the dimmer on high because he's watching sports. So you kind of slowly bring it up, get more into it. So there you go. Now let's go all the way out to Germany. Always good if you want to get a scouting report on a player to talk to the guy who's watched him up close and personal for the last 3 seasons. Jason Dunham, of course, is the general manager of the Staubing Tigers in the top league in Germany. And Josh Szymanski, who led them in scoring this season, signed a 2-year entry-level contract with the Edmonton Oilers, and he will come to Edmonton next year. Jason, welcome to the show, man. How you doing?
I'm doing great, sir. How about yourself?
Hey, I'm fantastic. So I guess for Oiler fans, and I got a scouting report that just said, big guy skates well. They said he's just literally improved every year. He's gotten better. As the guy who sees him every game, is that too simple, or is that a pretty fair estimation from Szymanski the last few years for you?
Well, I think with Josh, obviously Josh went over to Canada at a young age, and when you're 6'3" and weigh 140 pounds and try to play in the Ontario League or the Western League or the Quebec Major Junior, it's tough. So he came back to Europe and took his time, and now he's 6'4" and he's playing at probably 200 pounds or a little over 210 pounds, and he skates like he's one of the best skaters on the ice. He reminds me a little bit of Mike Modano. He's a big, powerful kid now, and he can score, and I think we brought him up the right way. Like, he learned how to penalty kill. We slowly brought him in the lineup, and in the end, in the last year here, especially in the Spangler Cup, we've seen against top international talent where Josh was just the best player on the ice every night, and it was great to see the performance that he put out there.
So he knows how to penalty kill. I hear he's a pretty good face-off guy as well.
He's good on the draws. He's a big kid. He's a strong kid. He's put in a lot of work. I mean, he's a real good, solid 200-foot guy. And, I just like his chances.
Yeah. So when you mentioned that, his weight, because he is a big body, now he's filled out. He's kind of lanky though, right? Like, he's not going to be 220 by any stretch of imagination, but he's got a lot of strength maybe to go with the size that he just didn't have when he was a teenager.
Well, it just took Josh a little longer.
Yeah.
Some of these kids, it takes them a little longer to fill out. And it took Josh till his, 21, 22 to get, to fit into his own body. And he's just turned into a machine. He works his butt off every day. And he's developed mentally in the game as well. And, Josh's goal was to get onto the Olympic team, onto the German Olympic team when he first came in. And I said, well, listen, if you want to play on that team, it's going to be pretty tough to get in the power play with, Draisaitl and Stützle and Seidel. So, I mean, he understood the process, and he was with it the whole time. And now we got a complete player, and I'm really excited to bring him to my hometown in Edmonton. And like I said, it's going to be exciting.
So, Jason, from Edmonton, of course, tell me about your journey over there. How you became a GM in Germany.
Well, I've been with the same organization now for 20 years. I played here the last 4 or 5 years of my career, and they needed someone in the organization that had a lot of connections back home. And like I said, I'm back there quite a bit. I was back there this year. I met with the Oilers actually in October, and then they were over here. Stan was over here I think it was in December that Stan was over here, and we had a good talk about Josh. And it's been great. I got to play back home, and then I got the opportunity to lengthen my career over in Europe, and I got into the right organization. I've been in the same position for 15 years, and it's been a dream come true. I just been able to live the hockey life, and turn a hobby into a job, and I'm very grateful for that.
Well, that's fantastic. We are joined by the general manager of the Straubing Tigers, Jason Dunham. And Jason, for a lot of people that probably don't ever watch, the DEL, the best league in Germany, and you mentioned Draisaitl and Stützle and Peterka and Mo Seider. Like, Germany's got some pretty good players. Obviously, Draisaitl is one of the greatest players in the world right now. He's probably going to win another Hart Trophy. How much does Draisaitl and even Stützle and the success of that, how much is that fueling the German hockey system?
Well, I believe that, the first guys to come out of it were the Draisaitl's and Marcus Sturm, and there's a little bit of history there, but I think it was the 2002 year, and we got lucky there. There was a lot of competition in the 2002 year, and then you had JJ Peterka and you had Reichel come out, and you had Stützle come out, and it showed that we've put a lot of money into our junior program, and especially some of the organizations over here where you got a full-time technical coach, you got a full-time fitness coach. It's 12 months a year. You got ice 12 months a year. We're able to work with these kids, and we're able. I think the difference between Canada and Europe now is that we don't have the amount of kids. So the kids that we do have, we put a lot of time and effort into them. And you can see a lot of these kids that maybe they're not developing at the young age of 17 or 18, but you really start to see them develop at more of the kids over here at the age of 21, 22, 23.
Well, and hockey historically, and I've talked about this, and I've repeated, I'm sure my audience gets tired of me repeating, hockey's a late developing sport. And I think some people think that means, by 13. I'm like, no, there's so many players. Leon Draisaitl was not ready for the NHL as a teenager. He just wasn't. And now he's one of the best players in the game, right? It took him even a few years to get ready. Nathan McKinnon, et cetera. And these are guys like Nathan McKinnon grew up playing, North American style of game and everything. And so when you look at it, it's why I still think the NHL should move the draft age back. More time to develop is better for the vast majority of players.
Well, that's where you see the college system coming into effect, and it's so effective in North America now with the U.S. colleges and the money they put in there and USA Hockey, that they have, they're playing twice a week. So what do these young kids need? Do they need to be on the ice 7 days a week, or do they need to be in the gym? Do they have to start developing their bodies? Most of these kids are on the ice 11 and a half months a year anyway. So that's where you see in the junior programs that in the Western League, and they're playing 75, 80 games, and that's where the U.S. program and these U.S. colleges are really benefiting now, because in their with their schedule that they have, these kids are coming out at 22 years old and they're men.
Yeah. Yeah, and that makes a big difference. So, do you have any other players that you look on your team that are coming up in the system? Do you think NHL teams are going to be looking at guys like another wave of Szymanski and some other kids in the next few years?
Well, we had Mattinen last year, and Mattinen came into our league, and he was the MVP of the league and the best defenseman in the league, and he ended up getting signed by Toronto last year. This year we've got Josh Szymanski going to Edmonton, which I'm super proud of, because I'm back home visiting mom once in a while, and I'll get to see him. And we were talking about that the other day. We're having a good laugh. We'll go over to mom's place and have a lunch. I think we do got a couple, some young kids. It's a little too early to talk about them yet, but I think when they get to the age of Josh, or they maybe even a little younger, that hopefully we'll be able to send another couple kids over there, and I hope they end up landing in Edmonton.
Now, Jason, I've seen lots of different reports. Some have him at 6'3", some have him at 6'5". What's Josh standing at?
Yeah, I think he's 6'4".
6'4",
to be honest with you.
Okay.
And I haven't put a tape measure on him, but I would say he's 6'4". Yeah.
And probably about 190.
I would say he's probably closer to 200 pounds. Yeah.
Okay. Perfect. Well, there you go. So bigger body.
I think he was playing at the end. I think he was playing at like 93, 94 kilos.
Okay.
He's a big kid.
Oh God, yeah,
he's a big kid now.
Big body, and he can skate, right? And so when
he can really skate.
Yeah,
he can really skate. He skates like a small forward. Like you guys, that's one thing that's going to impress you, is his ability to move the puck. Like, he can really skate.
As always, hey, Jason, I really appreciate this, man. We'll have to keep your number and get you on again. And we look forward to seeing Josh and what he can bring to Edmonton and the organization coming in the fall.
Thank you very much. Anytime.
GM of the Straubing Tigers, Jason Dunham. So good little scouting report on some. I always like to get size. If you look online, some had him listed at 180, some at 185, but his GM would know he was playing at 90. He said 92 or 93 kilos. Well, if he's 93 kilos, that's 204 pounds. Right. And if he's 92, it's 202 pounds, give or take. So pretty big body. I know if you look online at Hockey DB or Elite Prospects, keep in mind that a lot of those times, those weights are from their draft year and they don't necessarily update them all the time. So just something to keep in mind. So he thinks he's probably a legit 6'4", 200 pounds and probably still growing. Could he come to camp at 205? But the fact that he can move, big body that can skate, that'll give him opportunity that other guys just won't. It's just that simple. When you're that big and you can move, makes a big difference. Quick break. When we come back, Shenpeng will join us as we go to San Jose, where the Sharks, a young goalie, will get his third start of his career tonight. He gave up 8 in his second start. We'll see if the Sharks can give him a little bit more help tonight. We'll return on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Play Alberta has hundreds of casino games right at your fingertip. Join thousands discovering why Fortune Coin is one of Alberta's most popular games. Fill your reels with golden coins, multiply your prizes up to 6 times, and turn good spins into legendary ones. Land the Fortune Coin symbol to win cash, trigger the jackpot, launch the free spins bonus, and watch as the dragon takes over your screen. New players get 100 free spins only on playalberta.ca. Claim your offer today.
Legacy Heating and Cooling is the #1 heating and cooling company for people who want heating and cooling, because you'll save a bundle by bundling. Then you can use hot, cold, Come on, thermostat, do what you're told. Turn up the heat, turn up the cold, to the vents start pushing out tornadoes. Bundle my furnace with some AC. Gonna get a new from Legacy. Oh yeah, save a bundle when you bundle your new furnace and AC from Legacy today. Plus no payments and no interest for 1 year. That's how you build your legacy. Legacy Heating and Cooling.
Are you looking for safe and professional travel options? Look no further than Silent Rides, one of Alberta's premier bus charter companies. Whether your group is big or small, Silent Rides has you covered. We offer state-of-the-art motor coaches, first-class service, and affordable rates. Get your quote today. For more information, call 1-877-748-0991 or visit silentrides.ca.
Scott McGilvery here, HGTV host and renovation expert. The one upgrade I know homeowners will love: better, fresher Culligan water straight from the tap. Culligan's Aquasential reverse osmosis filtration system takes your water to the next level. With up to 7 stages of filtration and 14 filter options, they're certified to reduce over 90 contaminants. Your tap water is about to get a major upgrade: safer water that tastes great. Get started with a free in-home water test at Culligan.com. Culligan, water you love.
At Cross Mitsubishi, you can rest easy that you're getting quality Japanese vehicles, not tariffs. Purchase a 2024 Mitsubishi Outlander at 0% for 84 months with no payments for 90 days, or get $9,700 off when you lease. Add in a $1,000 Conquest rebate and another $1,000 loyalty rebate. You can lease from $31,748 or as low as $119 a week with zero down. See Cross Mitsubishi in store for details. 9605 34th Avenue and at crossmitsubishi.ca.
This is Nuge's Nuggets, brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling. What nugget of heating and cooling advice does Nuge have today?
You can save a lot of money by bundling your new furnace and AC with Legacy. It's kind of like saving money on an endorsement by bundling me, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, with someone like, Zachary Martin Hyman.
Thanks for suggesting me, Nuge.
Get no payments and no interest for 1 year on your new AC and furnace from Legacy Heating and Cooling. Proud sponsor of Nuge's Nuggets.
At Hughes, it's all about getting in and out quick and clean. No cash, no problem. With Hughes' new tap and wash system, all you need is your debit or credit card to get your vehicle sparkling clean.
Find us at HughesCarWash.com.
At Papa John's, you get your everyday favorites for just $9.99 each when you order 2 or more items from the Papa Pairings menu. When you order more, you save more. Choose from medium one-topping pizzas, boneless wings, papadillas, breadsticks, cheese sticks, and desserts. It's easy to order all your favorites when they're just $9.99 each. So the next time your friends come over to eat your food, check out the Papa Pairings menu to save. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Crystal Glass, your clear choice for residential windows, locally manufactured and installed. Crystal Glass provides a beautiful product and incredible customer services for all of your residential needs. Call 310 Glass or visit crystalglass.ca for a quote.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
$2:25. It is game day on Sports 1440, Oilers Nation, YouTube, Facebook, and X. Hope you are having a lovely day. Trust me, it's the late game as San Jose still has weeknight games that start at, well, they list them at 7:30. We all know that means closer to 7:40 local time. So that's like an 8:40 puck drop in Edmonton. So a little bit of a late one tonight. And then the final game of the regular season, the Oilers are back in San Jose. They'll actually play them 3 times here in the final 8 games of the season. And theoretically, it's probably good for Edmonton. The Sharks have only won 20 of 74 games. They are in, I call it year 3 of their rebuild. If you look at their team, I know they missed the playoffs. This will be the 6th straight year. But the first few years, some of the decisions they make weren't pointing them in the direction of being a rebuild. They thought they could still compete, and then finally said, you know what? Enough's enough. And it started when they drafted Will Smith, and then they got Celebrini. And now they're going to get a top pick. Them in Chicago are battling to see who will have the best odds in this summer's draft. There's some good players. You got Schaefer on the back end. You got Michael Misa and a few others, but those two seem to be the top 2 picks right now. Let's go around the NHL, brought to you by McDonald's. Why don't you indulge yourself in the cheesy jalapeno quarter pounder and bacon? Oof, jalapeno, bacon, quarter pounder, but only for a limited time. Add a little spice to your life. As we are joined by a beat reporter from San Jose Hockey Now, Shen Peng joins us. Shen, welcome back to the show. It's been a long year for the Sharks. Not surprising. I think they finally committed to a rebuild, and when you commit to a rebuild, it's going to be some long nights. They have some young players that people are excited about, but just not enough. How would you say this season has gone? Is there anything that's, maybe you expected them not to be good, but was there any side steps or any players or anything where you look and say, well, that's been a negative in this season as an individual?
Well, first I want to mention that I believe that I count it as year 2 of the rebuild. I think that's important to distinguish when we're talking about Mike Greer's work and what the Sharks are doing. The first year Mike was in place there, 2022-23, they still had Erik Karlsson. I think that the rebuild really starts when they decide to trade Timo Meier at the trade deadline that year. So that was a decision that they didn't have to make. They could have kept him. But anyway, I think for when we're talking about the big picture of the San Jose Sharks' work and where they're going, that is kind of important to distinguish when the rebuild kind of starts. But anyway, to answer your question in terms of the negative, if anything, actually, I would say the year has mostly gone as I think Mike would hope for a better record. But in terms of, did we see Macklin Celebrini do the things that make you think he's going to be a franchise foundational player? He certainly has. Will Smith had a kind of a slow start and some kind of missteps throughout the season, but did he show that he has the ability to be a top offensive player in the league, at least show that promise? He very clearly has. Did we see good stuff out of your future number one goalie, Yaroslav Askarov? We have. And so I think the big pieces of the foundational pieces that Mike is trying to build, they have shown either significant promise or way more than significant promise. And so those are the things that you're really, really looking at.
What's the update on the injury on the back end? I saw in that Anaheim game, Vetrano took him down, kind of Matt Doolin. He's not playing tonight, but it didn't look good on his shoulder when he went down.
Yeah, no, it did not look good. I guess that is something that the team is still working on in terms of just standing up for each other. I think they've done a pretty good job of it this year, but is that something that a younger player, that you like to see a younger player stand up for his teammate? That might be a case there. And so that's something that they're still working on. But anyway, though, in terms of just Mukhamadullin himself, yeah, it looks like a kind of injury that could. We asked Warsawski today if he thought that if they knew that or felt confident that Mukhamadullin would be able to return to the season, he said that he honestly didn't know. And that's particularly troubling, of course, for the Barracuda, too, who are going to be in the playoffs. It's actually going to be the first San Jose professional hockey team appearance in the playoffs with the Barracuda, hopefully Barracuda, this playoffs in the AHL since 2019. So it's been quite a while for any kind of playoff hockey here. And also, too, just for Mukhamadullin himself, he's really grown leaps and bounds in the last month, showing a lot of the pieces of why the Sharks made him the centerpiece of the Timo Meier trade. It's been a kind of long time coming for him, 2020 first-round pick. So showed a lot of ability in the last month. So if he does have a serious injury, that's a really big blow for Sharks defense, future of the Sharks defense. That's probably you look at their kind of future pieces, the defense is probably the weakest element.
You know what? They have Celebrinian Smith. Now they got some other young guys, Cameron Lund, Colin Graff. Obviously William Eklund's still a pretty young player himself. They acquired Ostapchuk from Ottawa. I know it's super early, Ken, but what do you see from Graff and Lund and maybe what they project to be, what they're hoping, or the Sharks are hoping they project to be?
Yeah, I would say that Graff is the Sharks prospect that has made maybe the biggest leap from last year in terms of perception of him to what he is now. When he was down with the Barracuda this year, his first full pro year, he actually led the Barracuda in ice time when he was down there, which is really impressive for a first-year guy. And with pretty good veterans around him, pretty good AHL veterans around him, like Andrew Podorowski. But Graff led the team in ice time because they were using him on PP1. They were using him on the first penalty kill. And so Graff is showing some potential here to be a pretty solid two-way winger in the NHL. Maybe he tops out more on a playoff team, NHL playoff team, as more of a third-line guy. Okay. But those guys are very, very useful, guys that you have a lot of time for. In terms of Lund, Lund is more, I think his game is not as refined as Graff is at this point. Granted, he's a bit younger than Graff. Lund is more kind of pieces. You see the pieces. Lund can skate. He's big. He can shoot. He has playmaking instincts. But I think he still needs to learn to, play more on the inside. He's got to kind of learn to kind of take over, dominate games, which he didn't do as much in college as I think some people who watched him thought that he could. Typical kind of big winger stuff. And he's got to maybe learn to be a little more assertive, but definitely the pieces are there for Cam Lund based on people I talk to, that this is a guy that can be a 20-goal scorer in the NHL if everything kind of hits for him. I think, though, Cam Lund is a great kind of speaks to the strength of the Sharks system, that I don't think a Cam Lund is considered a top 10 prospect for the Sharks necessarily, not a shoe-in top 10 prospect for the Sharks, but he has a lot of talent, and so it speaks to a much deeper system than they've had in years past.
Sheng Peng joins us, beat reporter for the San Jose Sharks. A few former Oilers, Clem Costin, I see him kind of in and out of the lineup for San Jose, and Vinny Desharnais, his third team this year, came over in that trade from Pittsburgh just at the deadline. Desharnais going to play again this year, and what's Costin's status?
Yeah, Darren Nate's a question mark. It sounds like he should come back this year at some point, but I don't know. There's still a little time left. Maybe he won't. But I think he's a guy, though, that I think the Sharks are excited to have. He's going to be a solid kind of veteran guy. 1 year left on his contract next year, so he could be a trade deadline candidate. But he brings stability, physicality, good leadership, that sort of thing that you need for a rebuilding group. So I think he's a good add for them. In terms of Costin, Costin is he's in a place that I think he's familiar with. I would say in his career where everybody sees the talent, but just that consistency is not quite there for him. Obviously, with the Sharks, he hasn't had a lot of playing time recently, so that could be the argument that he just hasn't had the chance to play through his mistakes. But either way, though, it's not looking great. I would say for his time with the Sharks, he's an RFA, but he's not been able to establish himself this year as a regular on a pretty not a great team. And so I think that he might not be back next year. That'll be his best guess.
Yeah, well, they're not going to qualify him at $2 million. That's for sure. So he'll be a UFA, I would think, no question. Few other guys, when you look at this Shark team and, kind of to expect tonight, I see Ferraro and Liljegren are their top line, so they'll probably face the dry side of the line. Then you've got Jack Thompson and Lucas Carlson, not overly young in Carlson's age, but that looks like it's their second pair tonight. But, combined less than 100 games, it just kind of illustrates where the Sharks are at. They got rid of Ceci, they got rid of Wallman, who's in Edmonton and has been very good for Edmonton. But, that second pair right now is probably a big concern for the Sharks.
Well, I think the entire defense is a big concern, right? I mean, Farrell has been the de facto number one defenseman for a long time for the Sharks, and not his fault. But that's probably not a role that he should be playing on a better team. And when they had Wallman and Ceci this year, that kind of put Ferraro kind of in a better place for him in the middle pairing. Now he's back up there, and he lost his partner, Muka Madulin, and they actually have been playing fairly well together. And now he has a brand new partner here. So not brand new. He and Liljegren played earlier in the season together a lot, but. It's gonna be a tough test, and also too, of course, they have a rookie goalie going tonight too.
Yeah, tell me about Romanov. What now? He only had 2 starts, and I watched that LA game. It's pretty ugly. So I don't blame the goalie when you see an 8 spot. Obviously, there was a few maybe he would like back, but that was just they kind of got overwhelmed in that game.
Yeah. Romanov's an interesting case because of that they traded Vanacek and they got a player that they like back in Giles. Granted, Giles. His ceiling isn't necessarily he's going to be a 4th line center in this league at best. But they like Giles, and so they traded their other veteran backup. But what happened though is that they had to have they have Romanov up, and he cannot go to the AHL playoffs. He's not available. And so instead they went with another goalie, Gabe Carrier. And Gabe Carrier is the guy they signed out of the University of Vermont last year. Kind of came out of nowhere. He's been actually in the ECHL for most of the year. But at the time of all this, Yaroslav Askarov, who had been the Barracuda's number 1 guy, he was hurt. And so it was kind of a statement in terms of they're giving Carrier most of the Barracuda starts with Askarov out.
Right.
So it seems to be a statement in terms of Romanov and just where he's at, unfortunately. And so so in terms of his overall game, I mean, he's a rookie. So there's going to be a holes for the Oilers to exploit here, most likely.
Logan Couture, is his career done?
Your guess is as good as mine, but your guess is probably pretty good. I think it's tough to see a guy come back from what he's come back from and the long layoff that he's had. Yeah. And so, I wonder if this is going to be one of those cases where they just don't announce anything because of his contract status. But it's hard to see him come back or in this situation. You don't really hear or see of him skating or really making his way back, unlike a Landeskog, who always seems like every week like he's he's going to be back in another couple of weeks or something like that. So until he takes that turn, Logan, I mean, in terms of getting back on the ice and really getting at it, at his age, it's hard to see him come back, if we're being honest.
Yeah, no, I would agree with you.
It's really tough too, because you want him to go out on his own terms, and so this is tough.
Yeah, I know it's been a few years, and I don't think my understanding is he's probably not going to play again, which is really unfortunate. Shen, always good to catch up with you, man. Enjoy the game tonight.
Yeah, thank you, man.
That's Shen Peng joining us from San Jose Hockey now. The Sharks have won 20 of 74 games. This is a game where the Oilers should win. Doesn't mean they will, but they should. Now, the Sharks, remember, they gave the Oilers everything they had right before Christmas time. The Oilers needed a late goal from Ekholm to tie it. I think it was 18 seconds remaining in that game, and then Draisaitl won in an overtime. But the Oilers are playing better. I see a lot of signs. I don't think Edmonton is going to take them lightly tonight. I think Edmonton is going to take control of this game. And the Oilers are 28-10-1 versus teams currently not in a playoff spot, and they're 17-6 versus Western Conference teams. So there you go. We'll return another edition of Thirsty Thursday on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
We've finished construction of our gamma radiation containment facility. Is it up to code? Is it going to be safe?
Sounds like a job for the men and women of Action Electrical.
Testing team reporting. We test your commercial operations using tools like infrared to ensure safe operation. Trust us to prevent potential calamity before it strikes.
Facing an electrical menace? Call the men and women of Action. Operating throughout Alberta at actionelectrical.net.
Blue Jays baseball is back on Sports 1440. This Saturday and Sunday, listen live to the broadcast of Canada's favorite team. Proud to be the home of Blue Jays baseball. We are Sports 1440.
Dang. Last season, you bought new clubs to fix your game. You spent the entire season trying to learn how to hit with your magic clubs. And guess what?
Dang.
They didn't help your game. Now you're convinced it's your swing, but it really is your clubs. Even though you were told the ones you bought were the best ever made, if they were, you would have gotten better. Every day at Fitted Golf, we continue to prove the right clubs make all the difference in the world. From beginners to pros, Fitted Golf makes all the difference.
Yes.
FittedGolf.ca.
Explore beyond the boundaries of capability and value during Truck Month at GMC. Right now, get 0% financing for up to 72 months on the 2025 Sierra 1500 Crew Cab Pro Graphite. With a TurboMax engine delivering 310 horsepower, GMC Pro safety features including automatic emergency braking, plus a max towing of up to 9,500 pounds. You'll be ready for anything this Truck Month. Ask your GMC dealer for details.
At McDonald's, there are new breakfast sandwiches with a secret ingredient.
A secret ingredient?
It's a little sweet, born in the cold, cradled by spring.
Gotcha. It's maple.
Well, yes, but let me finish. It's made
with 100% Canadian maple syrup?
Right again. It's a brand new smoky maple sauce featured in...
Oh, some new McD's breakfast sandwiches.
And you can try it
before 11 a.m. only.
Wow, you're good at this.
I know what I like. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
For a limited time at participating McDonald's restaurants in Canada.
Hey, Gary, is that your dad?
No, this is Evan, the new sales rep I hired.
Oh.
First impressions matter, but when hair loss takes over, it can feel like you're not being seen for the maverick you truly are. Hi, I'm Dr. Vance Elliott. At Advanced Hair and Skin Surgery, we know that hair loss is more than just a cosmetic issue. It's personal. Let's discuss all the cutting-edge options available so you can make a great impression every time.
Book a free consultation today at drvanceelliott.com.
Portions of this hour brought to you by the Edmonton Oilers. Make sure you've got your spot inside Rogers Place for this year's Stanley Cup playoffs by becoming an Oilers full or half season seat holder for the 2025-26 season. Head to edmontonoilers.com/season seats and don't miss great seats going on sale tomorrow morning, 10 a.m.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
2:44 game day on Sports 1440, Oilers Nation, YouTube, Facebook, and X. Hope you are having a lovely day. I'm Jason Gregor. He is Connor Halley. The Gregor Show is always presented by our title sponsor, PlayAlberta.ca, where you can get in the game. It's a new month. Don't worry. You get a new opportunity. Use the promo code Gregor50, and you'll get a free $50 play at PlayAlberta.ca. Super easy. PlayAlberta.ca. Now, let's get to another edition of Thirsty Thursday, brought to you by Sherbrooke Liquor. Of course, 2 locations in Edmonton. The original on St. Albert Trail and 118th Ave, and then on the southeast side, 50th Street and 92nd. If you want wine, you want cocktails, you want beer anywhere in the world, you want a great selection of non-alcoholic wines, beers, cocktails, they got it all at Sherbrooke Liquor. And David Owen joins us once again. Dave, how you doing, man?
Man, how are you doing?
Ooh, I'm a lot better than I was earlier this week. So it's been a trek, but it's good. I haven't had a coughing attack in like 13 hours. So it's
fantastic.
It's a big win. It's a big win.
Absolutely.
Now, today we're going to go for people because I think we're going to have a little fun with this, but how to taste beers and wines and spirits, like really taste it. Because I think a lot of us were just, you come, hey, do you want to try this? Sure. And you take a sip of it, but you're probably not doing it right to really know what you're tasting. Is that
exactly
fair?
Yeah, we want to give people the opportunity to learn how to taste properly. It's not that complicated. It doesn't have to be. It is for the masses. It's not just the snobs that are out there, but we can quickly teach you how to do it.
Okay.
So you're going to get the most maximum opportunity to really discover if you like something or not.
Yeah.
And that's what it's all about. It's about whether you like it or not and if it hits your palate, right?
Yeah, because if you just take a sip quick, you're probably missing out on an opportunity. So what are some of the things? So all of a sudden, let's say, you know what, we head over to Connor's house and he's having a big 1-year birthday and he's like, hey, boys, you walk in, he has some beer or whatever. Try this one. What are the things we need to do so we will look like somebody who knows what they're doing when it comes to tasting a new drink?
Yeah, so to look like somebody knows what the heck they're talking about here, we want to look at the beer first or the wine or whatever it is. We want to take a look at it. We want to look for the color in it. Is it clear? Is it dark? Is it hazy? Is it a ruby color? There's some really great cheat sheets online. If you want to Google something, you can get a color chart on there. They're great to use. The next piece, we want to nose it. So we want to smell it, and we want to nose it like you mean it. Like get your nose right into that glass. And you want to be smelling it. And the thing when you're smelling, you want to try and figure out what you're smelling. Of course, is it fruits? Is it herbs? Is it something, spicy, woody, whatever? But one of the great opportunities when you're smelling is if you smell with your mouth open, it'll hit your palate also at the same time. And you'll be able to actually start to taste it as you're smelling.
Now, not wide open, but just enough.
Just
right?
enough.
Okay.
Just open your mouth a little bit when we're doing it.
Okay.
And then we're going to taste it. So you want to take a taste, take a sip, let it roll across the tongue, let it sit there, mouth it a little bit, and then think about its texture. Is it light? Is it
But that makes a big difference. I just did it right now where I just took a breath with my mouth open and closed, and it's like a world of difference. I never would have thought something simple as just open your mouth when you're breathing it in.
Makes a huge difference.
Huge
and I got to tell
difference.
You, there are days when I've got to taste, like 25 whiskeys in a day.
Oh, wow.
And so being able to taste with your without actually putting it in your mouth is pretty important, because otherwise you're just gonna be schmammered, But.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. And then after the taste, we want to take a look after it's hit your palate, want to know what the texture is like and things like that. Then you just want to look, how's it finished? Is it finished? Does it hang around? Does it leave? Is there any surprises in there? And then, at the end of it, just sort of, do you like it or not? What's the overall vibe? Would you go back?
Yeah, because I know sometimes you'll do like tasting parties for people. It's because it's kind of fun. Everybody has a different opinion. There's no right or wrong answer, right? Like you're going to like something. I'm not going to like. Everybody has a different palates. Like Strutty, I don't even know if he has taste buds anymore based on some of his choices over the years that we've had. But Noodles definitely doesn't. He can't even put anything on his past. That's ridiculous. But so let's start today. So we're going to start off.
We're going to start off looking for just something easy, a little friendly sipper, and we're going to go with a Hefeweizen beer. And this particular beer that we're going to do today is the Weihenstephaner. Oh my goodness, I can't even pronounce it today.
Weihenstephaner. Yeah,
this is the oldest.
Strutty's favorite if he's listening. Strutty, I would pay you $20 to try to enunciate
see
that.
If he'll call in and find out. We've got this is the oldest brewery in the world. Also,
what?
Since 1040.
Really?
So
And
this is,
it's in Belgium. Like Belgium's known for their beers. Like if
That's
you're ever going on a
absolutely.
tour in Belgium, like you got to tour some of their
I will be there in a couple of weeks, and I'm pretty
really?
stoked. Yeah.
Oh,
So let's take a look at this color. You know, I look at it, I'm thinking, you know, it's got a bit of that straw kind of color to it.
yeah, a little
You know,
hazy lager.
A little bit of haziness in it.
Yeah, like that's a very simple tasting beer. You know, there's not a ton of flavor to it. I don't think that's not going to grab your attention, but it's not going to give you the oof.
No, it's just, you know, that is the OG royalty of wheat beer.
Yes.
And it is just, you know, it's crisp, it's refreshing. You know, it's got a little bit of that banana-y on it, you know, some cloves.
Well, the smell to me is like I know it's going to sound very simple, but that smells like a very classic beer.
Very classic beer.
Yeah.
And coming from the 1040, it should be.
Well, yeah, I would think so.
Now we're going to contrast this with something way different, and which is also part of the fun of tasting, is contrasting things and going back and forth a little bit. So this is the Fat Tug IPA from Driftwood Brewing.
I can smell / taste a little fruit.
Yeah, fair.
Mhm.
Yeah, you'll get some fruit on the nose.
Yeah, that whole tip. I recommend anybody out there tonight, if you're when you watch your order game, pour a beer, get it in a pint glass. You got a little bit more.
Yeah.
Take a breath with your mouth closed. Smell your beer with your mouth closed. Then do it with your mouth open, and you're gonna be like, "What a difference!"
What a difference!
Totally, because you just taste on your palate. It's weird.
And you know, so you think about this Fat Tug now. Now you've got a beer that's lingering on your palate too. This is about that finish it's not going away. It is there. Got that resiny, piney.
And a lot of people, it's funny, Dave. Some people like aftertaste like that. Others don't want. Some people want to drink it. They don't want a lingering taste.
That's right. Now, if you go back and taste the first one again, just a little sip of it.
Now it tastes a little bit bitter.
Now it tastes a little bitter. You're getting a bit of that bitter. So
because it's mixing from the other one.
A little bit of mix from the other one, but you're also getting that contrast. So you're getting the other one's highlighting some of that.
The other one's sweeter for sure.
And so it's contrasting it back and forth.
So do you recommend, because we got a few texts asking, would you recommend when you try a beer like this, like do you try one full beer? Should only try like how much do you have to know if you like a beer?
You know, I think if you're really well, I guess there's two questions in that. I guess you're gonna know pretty quick whether you like a beer or not. But sometimes I think, you know, things take time to evolve. Your palate takes time to evolve as well. And something that, you know, you think about when you're a kid, you know, you hated eating your cooked carrots or whatever, and now you love them.
Right.
Maybe you don't.
Yeah.
But that was one of my things.
No, things change. That's totally valid over time.
Your palate evolves. So you may not get it right away. And sometimes you don't understand what your mouth is tasting, and your brain takes a while to catch up with it as well. So yeah, give it some time to do it.
What about the theory that you try your best, most flavorful beers early in the night, and then because after 3 or 4, you're not going to get you're probably at that point you're not going to be able to appreciate it.
Well, if you're going on a mission to just be having beers, that would be the way to go. In some ways, you don't want to waste it, but if you're doing it for tasting to try and identify, you always want to start with your lightest.
Start with your lightest
and go. But if you're having friends over for some wine, open the most expensive wine first. Enjoy that, because when you get on that third bottle of wine, it's not going to matter.
No, it's not going to matter much.
Yeah. So this third beer we're moving on to, this is all about the nose, big aromatic bomb. And so this is the Orville Trappist Ale. This is one of the first beers that used a wild fermented beer out there.
Oh, that's my favorite by far. Yeah.
You know, some people love or hate this style of beer because this has the wild yeast fermentation. It's called Brett beer or Brettanomyces.
Yeah, the taste definitely stays with you longer.
Stays with you, yeah.
Yeah.
And some people call it's earthy. It's got some people call it barnyard.
I was going to say granola, but
granola, yeah. So it's definitely got that funk to it for sure.
And that beer was
that's the Orville.
The Orville Trappist Ale
Trappist
from Belgium. And I recommend anybody out there, like if you want to try good beers, go to Sherbrooke and just start in the Belgium aisle. You can't go wrong.
In there.
Yeah, you can't go wrong.
And I mean, it's where beer started.
Yeah.
And so you're getting the best of the best. People have been, like I said, 1040 for this one beer. It's been around for a long time. They put a lot of effort into it. They've perfected it.
Any places when you're over there, look to see if there's one that started in 1440. We might have to do a partnership.
I will
with
look
them.
for a
Yeah,
1440
That would
brewery.
be fantastic.
I will be.
It'd be unreal. So
I got a challenge now. Perfect. Love it. All right, we're going to move on to something now, that umami flavor. So people also hear umami and sometimes get freaked out about what that may be.
I don't even know what that is.
But umami essentially is it's an earthy, funky flavor at times. So think mushrooms, think having a steak, things like
which
that.
mushrooms? The magic mushrooms
Magic
or
mushrooms,
the
maybe
fungi
your, maybe your,
mushrooms?
exactly. Your,
Oh,
sorts of stuff.
goodness. Woo.
So this
You put a smell on that one, and it is.
that's
Holy
right.
cow.
So this is the Schellenauer rope
Smells like
beer.
bacon. Like it really smells like bacon.
So this is a smoked Marzen style beer.
Smoked Marzen.
So if you love your campfires,
That I was just gonna say, like that tastes smoky, like smoked bacon or ham.
smoked bacon, yeah, absolutely.
That's what it
100%.
tastes like. And that's the so that was the bread aged sour. Is that what it is?
No, that one there, that's the Roke beer, which is it's a smoked Marzen.
Smoked Marzen. Well,
yeah, it's this
I
one
can
here.
tell you, I've never
This thing-
tasted a beer like that in my life. Like and the funny thing is, you know what? Like the smell that I probably one of the things that I hate the most in life is campfire smell. I know that's weird. I don't like it.
All right.
And the minute I smelt it, I was like, oh my God. Like I'm not like, I don't think I'd ever like this beer just because of the smell. Like
Yeah.
I don't like sitting by the fire too long, then I smell like it. I don't know, it's a weird thing. Some people love that
Some
smell.
people love it.
I don't love it.
Yeah. Well, but
If you love it,
if you love
this,
it,
like that is one of the most unique tasting beers ever. It doesn't taste as bad as it smells for me, but I don't like the smell. So I think it tastes better than it smells.
for sure. Awesome. See, this is all about learning. All about learning things you love and things you don't.
And then lastly, obviously, this is a stout. It's almost black.
Last but not least, yeah. So this is a whiskey barrel aged stout. It's been aged in Highland Park whiskey barrels.
Yeah, when you get into the darker beers, you do that nose with the mouth open, and it hits you.
It hits you.
Woo! Cons, I'm gonna get you to try the bacon one. Just want you to smell it. Right there.
Yeah, that's like you're literally sitting by a
Yeah,
campfire. That is crazy.
It is. It's crazy.
Holy cow.
Yeah, take a sip of it. It's pretty
That
good.
is Steven's favorite beer.
Really?
Yeah, that's his absolute favorite. So
That's wild.
and this Harveystown.
Tastes like dark chocolate and espresso.
There you go. That's exactly it. Those are some perfect. Yeah, dark
God,
chocolate espresso.
I should be a professional taster.
Figs, peaty, smoky. Get that, a little bit of whiskey in there.
Yeah, like if you like coffee and espresso, like you'll love this beer.
Love this beer. Yeah, old engine oil is what it's called.
Old engine
Actually,
oil.
is
That's
the
kind of what
base.
it looks like. Remember
That is the
when you
basis of it.
change? Now I don't know. People today probably don't change their oil very much anymore. But when you used to change your oil, you take out the dustpan, you take out the plug, and then it just fills up into your oil pan, and that's
what it looks like.
Kind of looks like that color.
Yeah.
Now I never tasted the oil, but I'm guessing this tastes a lot better.
It tastes way better, I think.
Yeah, way better. Well, that is you're right about going from lighter to darker, because had you started with the dark one, I think it would probably overpower. You wouldn't be able to
taste the
any.
first one at all.
Yeah.
So if you go back, take another sip of the first one again.
Yeah. I prefer ales anyway. So now that I go from an ale and a stout, and then I try the lager again, I'm like, well, now I like the lager even less.
Yeah.
So for me though,
yeah.
Lots of people love lagers because they're crisper and
That's
their
right.
ales have a little bit more flavor.
Maybe.
Right.
So the Roche beer, the Marzen.
Yeah.
That's a lager.
The third one?
That's correct. The fourth one.
That's a lager?
Yep.
The
It's a lager.
bacon.
The bacon. Smoked bacon.
What?
Lager. So next week.
So you can get dark lagers? I didn't know that.
So next
I
week,
just learned that.
next
Okay.
week, Steven's going to be here because I'm out of town.
All right.
And he's going to challenge your perceptions on lagers because he knows you're all about the ales. So
Yeah.
he's going to bring in 4 different lagers that are going to
Blow
completely change your
my
perception.
mind. So maybe I'll
It's
get
gonna-
back in the lager.
You might
train.
get it back in the lager train.
Okay.
Who knows?
Well, I like that. So again, if we're going to Sherbrooke, you want to try the definitely you want to try the Trappist Ale.
Oh, the Trappist Ale is
Trappist
phenomenal.
Ale. If you like espresso or dark chocolate, that was the the barrel aged stout beer. What was it called again?
Yeah, that's the Harveystown Ola Dube.
Okay.
It's yeah, it's a lovely beer. And you can get the old engine oil is just that's what it starts out with, and they also do these barrel aged ones. And this has been in a Highland Park.
Now, are these available in singles? Because you guys have lots. So if people just want to try it, you go there and just say, "Hey, I want to try a few of the beers that we had that I heard on Sports 1440." Get the campfire beer. That's easy because you know what? If you try it, the Roche beer. Because if you try to say the extra curla.
Exactly.
Right? I think that's the proper one, but that's a tongue twister.
Ask
boys
for the
and girls.
smoked beer, and somebody will help you find
smoked beer. Yes, because honestly, it's like campfire beer.
Yeah,
I have never smelled or tasted a beer like that ever.
Yeah, and that's the fun part about being able to come in and buy a single from us is that you can buy a whole bunch and do exactly sit down with a few buddies and try a few things out. Start with the lightest, go to the darkest, and see what you like.
Awesome. Well, Dave, that's great stuff, buddy. We appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you. And next week, if you want to taste along with, if people want to taste along with you and Steven while he's bringing in this whole lager piece, we're going to have a 1440 4-pack that you can come in on Monday, starting Monday next week, and pick it up, bring it home to your office,
I like
wherever.
it. I like it. Taste along,
and fill up the line.
Okay, well, we'll put that out there on Monday. I like it. So taste along. It's fun. Awesome stuff, Dave. Appreciate it.
Great. Thank you.
There you go. That's David Owens joins us from Sherbrooke Liquor. I'm still blown away. So is Cons. Cons is like, what? Never had a beer that smelled and tasted like campfire. It is. And bacon. It's like campfire with bacon, which now if they would have had like s'mores in there, it'd be unbelievable. Unreal. Let's get to the con man and a sports 1440 update brought to you by Fountain Tire. Road trips, job sites, or daily commutes. No matter where you drive, you need a team that keeps you rolling, and Fountain Tire does more than just tires. Their expert technicians handle everything from alignments to brakes, shocks, and full of mechanical services. Find the nearest store at fountaintire.com.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
It's game day. The Oilers down in San Jose set to take on the Sharks. Puck drop just after 8:30. Pre-game coverage with Andrew Walker and Donovan Paulson gets going at 7:30 right here on Sports 1440. Elsewhere, Golden Knights host the Jets, Ducks in Calgary, Utah up against the Kings, Preds in Dallas, Blues host the Penguins, Avs battle the Jackets, Sens and Lightning, and the Canadians taking on the Bruins. Major League Baseball today, one game going on right now. Twins and Stros tied at 2 apiece in the bottom of the third. Later tonight, the Yankees host the Diamondbacks while the Reds are in Milwaukee. Earlier today, Red Sox double up the Orioles 8-4, and the Phillies knocked off the Rockies 3-1. On the hard court tonight, the Toronto Raptors hosting the Portland Trailblazers at 5:30. You also got the Lakers, Warriors, Korea's Heat, Bucks, and Sixers, and the Magic in Washington to take on the Wizards. WHL playoffs tonight, just one game at 8 o'clock. It's game 4 between the Chiefs and the Giants. Spokane leading that series 2-1. Coming up in hour 2 of the Jason Gregor Show, we'll be joined by Major League Baseball writer Scott Miller, and we'll speed things up in the Cantor Racing Report with Colin Livingston. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Imports 1440, a Stingray radio station broadcasting on Treaty 6 territory.
Download the free iHeartRadio app and listen to CKJR wherever you go.
Volvo Cars Edmonton invites you to their biggest sale of the year. The March showroom event is on now. Lease or finance a 2025 XC60 plug-in hybrid from 1.99% and save $3,500. Lease a 2025 XC90 plug-in hybrid from 1.49% and save $5,500. Lease or finance a 2024 XC40 plug-in hybrid from 0.49% and save $2,500. Don't miss the March showroom event at Volvo Cars Edmonton. Great vehicles, better service. Only at VolvoCarsEdmonton.com.
Legacy Heating and Cooling is the #1 heating and cooling company for people who want heating and cooling, because you'll save a bundle by bundling. Then you can use hot, cold, hot, cold. Come on, thermostat, do what you're told. Turn up the heat, turn up the cold, to the vents start pushing out tornadoes. Bundle my furnace with some AC. Gonna get a deal from Legacy! Oh, yeah. Save a bundle when you bundle your new furnace and AC from Legacy today. Plus no payments and no interest for 1 year. That's how you build your legacy. Legacy Heating and Cooling.
My utility bills are going through the roof. How can I take advantage of the sun and put my lazy roof to work?
Sounds like a job for the men and women of Action Electrical.
Energy team reporting. When you're ready to make your home or business more efficient, Action Electrical has the power to install solar panel systems and EV chargers.
Facing an electrical menace? Call on the men and women of Action. Operating throughout Alberta with supercharged skills and strong family values. ActionElectrical.net.
At Papa John's, you get your everyday favorites for just $9.99 each when you order 2 or more items from the Papa Pairings menu. When you order more, you save more. Choose from medium one-topping pizzas, boneless wings, papadillas, breadsticks, cheese sticks, and desserts. It's easy to order all your favorites when they're just $9.99 each. So the next time your friends come over to eat your food, check out the Papa Pairings menu to save. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's.
If you or someone you care for are injured in a motor vehicle accident, please listen up. I'm Grant Fedoruk from Leading Edge Physiotherapy, and let me proudly say that we won't be the place your insurer tells you to go. We won't be the place because we don't sign agreements with the insurance company. We don't work for them, we work for you. We do want to be the place that your friends, family, and other medically trained professionals send you. So if your insurance company says that you have to see their therapist, you should know that's not true. You have the right to choose where you go, and we hope you choose us. LeadingEdgePhysio.com.
Play Alberta has hundreds of casino games right at your fingertip. Join thousands discovering why Fortune Coin is one of Alberta's most popular games. Fill your reels with golden coins, multiply your prizes up to 6 times, and turn good spins into legendary ones. Land the Fortune Coin symbol to win cash, trigger the jackpot, launch the free spins bonus, and watch as the dragon takes over your screen. New players get 100 free spins only on playalberta.ca. Claim your offer today.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Leading Edge Physio. The team in Old Strathcona have special training dedicated to reducing the impacts of cancer care before, during, and after your diagnosis. From lymphedema to the management of fatigue and side effects of chemotherapy and radiation, they can help. Learn more at leadingedgephysio.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only
Alberta
regulated
had, like,
online
s'mores
gambling website.
Fill up the line.
Okay, well, we'll put that out there on Monday. I like it. Just after 3 o'clock. Welcome back, Jason Gregor. Connor Halley, Sports 1440, Orders Nation, YouTube, Facebook, and X. Con, so we have the, I think we had the beers are up. Did you put them up on Sports 1440 posts?
Not yet. I'm going that right now, actually.
Okay, perfect. So, Michelle, you can get it on the Sports. Michelle asked where and get the list. It'll be up at Sports 1440 on Instagram. You want to check it out. Cons, you got the campfire beer over here too, if you want to grab it. So there you go. It's great. 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. It is the Jason Gregor Show, is always presented by PlayAlberta.ca. Get in the game. Also, it's Thursday. It's the game I want to win. I've never won. I'm not sure I'll ever win, but I want to. The Daily Grant, $1,000 a day for the next 20 years, $7.3 million, which is a lot of money. But if you do the $1,000 a day, I don't think it changes your life. That it reduces a lot of stress, but nobody even has to know, right? You don't have to have a big announcement. Not everybody's chasing you. You're just like, oh, casually getting a G-note a day. Oh, that'd be great. You could say, you know what? Like I've said, you should be able to save a lot of money if you're getting a G-note a day. I would hope anyway. Now, let's get to our playoff push, brought to you by the Alberta GMC Dealers Chuck Month on now at GMC, and get a $5,000 cash purchase credit on 2025 Sierra HD models. Learn more at gmccanada.ca. The Oilers, The push to the playoffs, it looks like it's coming right down to the wire. Probably going to come down to the two head-to-head games between the Oilers and the Kings. Now, the Oilers got to take care of business tonight in San Jose. Meanwhile, LA is on the road. They're taking on Utah. Utah, mathematically, still has a chance, but let's be real. They don't have a chance. Okay, they're out. But they have their big team awards tonight. So I think Utah is obviously a much better team than San Jose. So on paper, it should be a little bit harder game for the Kings. Either way, if both teams win, they will match up with 7 games remaining, 2 games head-to-head, the Oilers and the Kings, and it's going to come down to home ice advantage. So Saturday matinee game, I think that won't be a playoff game, but, man, I think there's going to be a little bit of hype. Obviously, McDavid won't be playing. Ekholm won't be playing. Kane, Frederick, Skinner won't be playing, but the Oilers will be fired up. So that's kind of where it sits for tonight's games and what that means for the playoff push for those two teams. But games tonight, there are obviously lots that matter in the race for the playoffs. The Montreal Canadiens, baby, they are holding on to the final wildcard spot in the Eastern Conference. They got 8 games left. They're tied with the Rangers, but the Rangers have played one more game. Now, the Rangers have 7 more regulation wins, so they obviously would own the tiebreaker. Columbus has a game in hand on Montreal, 2 games in hand on the Rangers. They're back with 77 points. The Red Wings, well, I've already eliminated them. I know they're not officially, but I just look at their schedule. All they're doing is playing playoff teams. They got to pass 3 teams in 8 games. I don't see it happening. And they had the Blues 29 seconds away from victory, and they lost. So, yikes. Meanwhile, you have the Blue Jackets hosting the Avalanche tonight. So Montreal, obviously an easier opponent as they're taking on the slumping Boston Bruins. But will the Bruins be like, hey, this is a rivalry, long-standing rivalry? We're going to show up. We'll see. St. Louis hosting Penguins, the other East game. So really the only Eastern teams in the playoff hunt tonight that are battling are the Canadiens and the Blue Jackets. It's a little bit more. Now, Tampa Bay, I shouldn't say that. Tampa Bay is playing Ottawa, and Tampa Bay is 3 points back of Toronto for first, but they're also 1 point up on Florida. They got a game in hand. They win that game tonight, then they're right behind Toronto again, and they give themselves a 3-point cushion on Florida for home ice advantage. So we'll see how that benefits. Now, in the West tonight, the surging St. Louis Blues looking to tie a franchise record with their 11th consecutive win. They are hosting the Pittsburgh Penguins. Elsewhere, you got Dallas, who is suddenly right on the heel. They win tonight, and the Jets are in Vegas. What if the Jets lose again tonight and Dallas wins? Then Dallas is 2 points back with a game in hand. So that race is tightening up. And if Dallas wins that game tonight in regulation, they would be 1 win more when it comes to regulation wins. So have a little bit of leg up on the Jets. So big game tonight for the Jets. Now, if you're the Oilers and the Kings and you still believe there's a chance, I think it's slim. But if the Jets beat the Golden Knights, then Edmonton could pull within 5 of the Golden Knights, and the Kings could pull within 3 and still keep a slim chance of catching them. So there's lots to move around in the Western Conference tonight. Dallas, Colorado's locked in. They are going to get the number 3 seed. They're not catching Dallas, no chance, as they are 6 points back. Dallas has 2 games in hand, and Minnesota and St. Louis are both 7 behind the Colorado Avalanche. So the Avs would literally have to just like all they got to do is win 3 games, and they can't get caught. So just go 500, and they can't get caught. So Minnesota and the Blues are battling Calgary. They might still think there's a chance. Sure. That's like, you know what, Connor? There's a chance my hair could grow back. There's a chance, I guess, but not much of a chance. But the Flames, they won't go away easily. They're taking on the Anaheim Ducks tonight. So there you go. That's the playoff report brought to you by Alberta GMC dealers, and stop and get a great deal on any of the Sierra models right now. The Oilers, of course, lineup changes tonight. How about none? 0, zilch, none. Pickard's going to start in goal. Same 6 defense, same 12 forwards. They don't have any other players around. Now, I can give you an update on some of the injuries. McDavid, Frederick, and Kane still skating with the team. Frederick could play Monday. McDavid doesn't sound like he's going to play in the trip, but he's skating. That's good. Matthias Ekholm back in Edmonton. He's been skating. He's rehabbing. He's getting closer. He could return next week. Also, good news. I've heard that Stuart Skinner has been on the ice, but obviously, coming off got kind of post-concussion symptoms there that, they're being ultra cautious. So being on the ice, I don't know. I haven't seen him, so I can't say how hard was he working or not, but it's a good sign that, what the shot to the head. And like when you take a knee to the head, sometimes like you wonder how much of it is going to be in your head, how much of it is your vision, but how much it is then like, I don't know, that all your muscles clench up. Like, is your shoulder tight? Is your neck tight? I have no idea. So like, there's always different things that go into it, but the fact that it was even on the ice is a good sign. But I think right now you never know when it comes to concussion, how long it's going to take till the player's, fully ready to go back. And I wonder if that plays a small part in the Oilers' decision to have Calvin Pickard play again tonight, play again on Saturday, get into a little bit of a rhythm just in case he maybe has to play a little bit more in the playoffs. Now, I'm not saying that's, the case. The fact that Skinner's already back skating would point to be a no. But remember, this is not a knee. It's not a shoulder. It's not a finger. Anytime you're coming off any sort of concussion, head, neck injury, it's a little unpredictable, and you don't really know. So that's just how they'll go. So 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. Hey, Greg's really enjoyed your interview. Any chance we can get somebody from Sweden? Talk about the other guy. You know what? Hey, Brad's the Brad man's on it. It's good. Now, it helps that when the GM of the team in Germany is from Edmonton, right? Jason Dunham. So it was great to get him. We actually got a lot of texts from guys who used to play hockey with him saying, they're excited to have him on, and, local guys doing very well for himself in the German Elite League as a GM. So that's great. But you know what? It is interesting to see, we had this text come in. Hey, Gregor, do you think signing guys in Europe shows that the Oilers are going backwards? From Dan? Not really. Because Gaetan Haas, hey, he was he played in the NHL. Wasn't a long-term solution by any stretch of the imagination. But that doesn't mean, it's like saying this. Well, you know what? I got dumped once. I'm never going to date again because it didn't work one time. Well, that's kind of foolish. That's like saying, guess what? You know what? We drafted a kid out of the WHL in the first round. Didn't work. We're never drafting a kid out of the first round again from the dub. You wouldn't do that. So just because Gaetan Haas didn't become a full-time regular NHLer doesn't mean that these guys can't. Right? They're different players. They're different size. There's so many different factors. So I wouldn't look at it like, well, because the one time you went to Europe and you signed some players, so that means like David Tomasek, he's not going to pan out. He's not going to be as good. Well, I'd say that's probably a little, misleading. Gaetan Haas came from the Swiss League. He wasn't the leading scorer in the Swiss League when he came. He's a good player, but he wasn't leading scorer by any stretch of the imagination, right? And he played parts of 2 seasons with the Oilers? Did he not? 20 and 21, I think, Cons. So I wouldn't be that down. I don't know. I'm actually quite intrigued. To lead the entire Swedish league, I don't care what league you're playing in pro hockey. You lead the league in scoring, you're a pretty good player. It's just that simple. So you look at Tomasek, yeah, he's 29. Well, like I said, do you know how old Derek Ryan was? Now, he wasn't a European player, but he was a Canadian who was playing in Europe for many years. And then he came over, made his day. He actually started in the American League and made his debut at 29. Turned out to have a pretty good career. So you never know. Now, keep in mind that Tomasek did play in North America in the Ontario Hockey League. Right? Played 2 seasons for the Belleville Bulls way back when he was, 16 and 17 and 18, I think it was. So hey, he's played in North America. It's obviously been a long time. And then he's been playing over in the Czech. He played 1 year in the KHL, played in Finland a bit. So he's bounced around. Now he's in Sweden. So he's played in all the leagues. But to be able to lead the league in scoring, he had 24 goals, 33 assists, 57 points in 47 games. Led his team in scoring by over 12 points. Guess who was on his team? former Edmonton owner. Joachim Nygaard. Maybe we'll have to get Nygaard on the show. Cons. He'll probably give us a good little scouting report. So Nygaard was on his team. And remember, Oiler fans, you saw Nygaard. Well, Nygaard had 24 points in 41 games on that team. And Tomasek had 57 in 47. So if we're just going off of that alone, you say, okay, right? And now Nygaard's actually 3 years older. But yeah, I don't see it as a step back. I think, to me, you got to look under anywhere to find players. You see lots of other teams. How many times they play, hey, this team found a guy essentially for nothing. Why can't we? Why not? We'll see. But Gaetan Haas, I don't think, had the scoring pedigree that Tomasek's going to come over with. That, to me, is the difference. When we return, we'll get more on the Oilers. Also, the bench boss, coach, manager. Now with all the analytics, the feel of your gut and why it's important. Next on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
There's one. And another. No, not spring flowers yet, but rather huge deals. It's GMC's Truck Month at Wolf GMC Buick. Nab 0% financing up to 72 months on our most popular Sierra half-tons, or massive discounts starting at $8,000. Choose your truck from a great selection, like the fabulous all-new Canyon, right up to the trailer-hauling Sierra HD with the industry-leading Duramax diesel. Spring into Wolf GMC Buick today and snag your truck, and see the savings at wolfgmcbuick.com.
I'm Colin Livingston, president of Cantork. Since 2016, we've been at the forefront of hydraulic torque wrenches in Canada. I'm delighted to share our latest venture, in-house production for quicker turnaround, superior quality, and heightened versatility. Experience excellence at Cantork.com.
With the lead up to the playoffs underway, players are definitely stepping up their game.
And the fans are doing the same. Simple snacks like chips and dip may work at the front half of the season, but now more and more fans are rocking the Wilhauk beef jerky for game time get-togethers.
Just make sure you bring enough for everyone if you want to be invited back for the playoffs.
Make your next hockey game day a Will Hockey game day with Wilhauk beef jerky, only available in Leduc. Get yours today, because you don't win games with salad.
Mr. Rooter hits the lick.
So I tell the guy it's leaking because you have a hole-in-one.
Hey, Mr. Rooter, you have a better chance of hitting the green with a crescent wrench, you bum.
Oh, boy. It's my rival, Mr. Plunger.
You swing a club like you plumb. Lousy.
Lousy, eh? Hey, Mr. Plunger, there's a clog down there that even you could fix.
For a plumber you can trust, call Mr. Rooter.
Hey, sports fans, we've got a clear choice for you. At Crystal Glass, we provide customers with the perfect glass for any job. From home to auto and even commercial, installation or repairs, we're your team. Call 310-GLASS or visit crystalglass.ca. Crystal Glass.
The Alzheimer's Face-Off, presented by Christensen Communities Limited, hits the ice April 25th to 27th, pairing hockey fans with some of their favorite players from the NHL Alumni Association for a fun-filled weekend in support of the Alzheimer's Society of Alberta and Northwest Territories. Friday features a champions luncheon, followed by the teams hitting the ice on Saturday and Sunday in a friendly hockey tournament at Terwilliger Rec Center. To purchase a table to the champions luncheon or to learn more about how you can get involved in the tournament, visit alzheimersfaceoff.ca for more info.
At McDonald's, there are new breakfast sandwiches with a secret ingredient.
A secret ingredient?
It's a little sweet, born in the cold, cradled by spring.
Gotcha. It's maple.
Well, yes, but let me finish. It's made
with 100% Canadian maple syrup?
Right again. It's a brand new smoky maple sauce featured in...
Oh, some new McD's breakfast sandwiches.
And you can try it
before 11 a.m. only.
Wow, you're good at this.
I know what I like. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
For a limited time at participating McDonald's restaurants in Canada.
Did you know The Brick is proudly Canadian-owned and operated? We started right here in Canada over 50 years ago. Now, our 5,000 team members are proud to be your neighbor in more than 200 communities across Canada. And we support all Canadians with a growing selection of quality-made Canadian products and manufacturers. Nobody knows more about furnishing Canadian homes at the guaranteed lowest price than us. The Brick, saving you more.
Visit thebrick.com and use our store locator to find a Brick store near you.
Need a solid foundation without the fuss? Richard and Kalina at DCL Pile Driving have your back. Locally owned, they offer straight, driven piles. No screwing around. Serving all of Alberta. DCL Pile Driving gets your foundation ready in hours with minimal ground disturbance. Perfect for tight spaces, whether it's for a deck, grain bins, or RTMs. Tell them the radio sent you and receive a special discounted rate. Call or text 587-322-PILE. DCL Pile Driving. Don't get screwed. Get piles driven.
Listen to over 500 radio stations from anywhere in Canada with Radio Player Canada, the must-have app that's as Canadian as you are. Friendly, ready to party, great company. Enjoy every type of radio station, anywhere, anytime. Listen through your phone, Sonos, Google Chromecast, Google Home, Amazon Echo, Apple CarPlay, and Android Auto. Download the Radio Player Canada app today. It's where Canadian radio plays.
Is it Riverside Motorsports? No. It's Riverside Motorsports. Over 55 years in business, and people still get it wrong. Guess it's time to get it right.
Riverside Motorsports. What you do for fun is our business.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Sherbrooke Liquor. Sherbrooke is a house of curiosities, a mom and pop, a curated experience that is equal parts wine tastings and 2-4s from May long. See more at SherbrookeLiquor.com.
Hat tricks, touchdowns, and home runs. Get it all with the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
.325, Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Sports 1440. Oilers Nation, YouTube, Facebook, and X. Hope you're having a great day. Hey, boys, you should remind all of your listeners where Zuccarello came from. Matt Zuccarello was undrafted, and he was playing in the Swedish Elite League, I think it was, for Modo. He was pretty young, though. I think he was like 23 when he came over. So yeah, you know what? Not that young, but 23 when he came over. And he's had an unreal career. Like, that guy's got to be close to 900 games, I would think. So being around, because what was that, like 2012, 11 maybe? I don't know. You can look it up, Cons. I think he came over and like to the NHL in maybe 11. Could be right or wrong, somewhere around there. My memory's correct. So we'll see.
Yeah, 2010, 2011, 898 career games
How
played.
many games he played?
898.
Ooh, that was close.
Plus 96 in the playoffs. So
plus 96 in the playoffs?
yeah.
How many playoff games he played? He's got to play a lot if he's plus 96.
Oh, sorry. No. Plus 96
Plus
games.
96 games. I'm like, this guy's plus 96 in the playoffs.
Extremely effective in the playoffs.
Oh, yeah, that is unreal. Okay, I like it. So, yeah, there's another example. Like, I don't view looking out, like, hockey's a universal game. It's played a lot in Europe. And there's going to be, we had Jason Denham, the GM from out of Germany, talking about how maybe their players aren't as advanced at 17, 18, 19, but get them 22, 23. Now they're more ready. And that the truth is, look at how many North American guys play junior, spend a few years in the American League, way more than you think, and then are ready to be in the NHL. And like, sure, there's the top guys, and Oilers fans like Nurse and Nugent Hopkins. Yeah, they're top 10 picks. I'm talking the vast majority of the players. So always something to think about. Now, let's get to our MLB report brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling. They are hiring HVAC installers. Looking for them if you want competitive wage, you want a hiring bonus, RRSP matching, tuition reimbursement, and you work for a great company. Maybe you'll get in the next time a Nugent Hopkins commercial. You never know. Apply at legacyheating.ca. Want to get this guy on for a while. Of course, writer at MLB, also author of the book, Skipper, Why Baseball Managers Matter and Always Will. Scott Miller joins us. Scott, welcome to the show, man. How you doing?
Hey, Jason. Hey, guys. Real good. How are you?
Good. Well, first of all, Scott, how's your wife? Everything okay?
She's fine. Yeah. Sorry. I was supposed to be on, as you know, with you guys the other day. And yeah, she was with some friends in Chile and was kayaking and slipped on some wet rocks, went down, broke her wrist.
No.
And so when she came home, she got it tended to down there, but we had to go to our local orthopedic, and long story short, she's in good shape. She's not happy. I don't blame her. She does have to have wrist surgery next week to get a plate put in it, but we'll get it taken care of, and she'll be rocking and rolling against it.
All right. Now let's get to the book, Why Baseball Managers Matter and Always Will. And I think it's timing because, baseball has made a real shift into analytics, and baseball has always been, I think it's the best game if you really want to use stats, because every play starts at the exact same position on the field every time, right? The pitcher's always pitching from there. Might be a righty lefty, might throw a different pitch, but you always start in the exact same spot. So statistically, I think it can give you some of the best stuff. And teams, now, when you did this and you write it, Scott, how much of it was about the use of analytics, but then maybe just your gut and your feel? And sometimes you got to go with that. It can't always be, well, Bob hits 280 against lefty, so we're automatically playing Bob.
Yeah, I mean, that's what every team's wrestling with right now, between overdoing the numbers and when to use the gut. And yeah, so a lot of the book nails on, focuses on that. We've heard the last few years about how, since analytics has come into the game, the role of the manager has been diminished. And, it depends on who you talk to. Some people say, managers barely matter anymore. They've been neutered. And I think that the job has certainly changed, but it's still important, obviously, as the book implies. So the book it's a combination of what I've seen and heard and who I've talked to over the past 35 years of covering baseball. I've seen the change with my own eyes, and through that time, the various contexts and, people I've gotten to know. And so I did almost 200 interviews or so for this book. And the gist of it is it starts in the late 1970s or so for a couple of reasons. One, that's when Earl Weaver and Sparky Anderson and Billy Martin, the managers that had all full autonomy, were in charge. And it also starts in the late 70s because that's when the first rudimentary computers begin to be offered for sale to the general public. So from the late 70s, from that point to now, obviously computers have gone from rudimentary to overtaking all of our lives, including baseball. And from then to now, the current managers have to, work in collaboration with their front offices, and they don't have the power they once did. So the book, it goes from then to now, what the job was like then, what it's like now, why we got from then to now, and how we got from then to now. So, it's been about a 2.5-year project, and a couple really, really early reviews. Not many people have seen it yet. Early reviews been really good. I'm excited about that, and hopefully people like it.
So, and when you do research like this, Scott, you probably go in with an idea and a plan. What did you learn that surprised you during the process?
I'm trying to think. I mean, I've covered baseball every day for 35 years, so I didn't get a ton of surprises. But I mean, yeah, the collaborative nature. I mean, I spent 4 days with Dave Roberts, who, did me the great favor of winning the World Series last year. That worked out really well. I had focused a chapter on him anyway and spent time with him. And I was like, oh, geez, if the Dodgers going to win the World Series, that's good. Maybe that'll help draw interest to the book too. But a guy like Dave Roberts is just a master communicator. And he wants to, as he says, touch every player on his roster every single day. So what that means is he wants personal FaceTime. Like before the game even starts, the players start to get there about 2 in the afternoon or 1 in the afternoon. And, a lot of them will get to the ballpark and have lunch. So, whether it is Dave Roberts meeting with a player or two in his office for a specific reason, like, hey, we need to talk about your hitting or your pitching, whether it's just him going through the locker room cafeteria, and saying hello to guys, or checking on, hey, nice at bat yesterday, or hey, how's your wife doing? And so if he doesn't get everybody carries out into the field during batting practice, he may make the rounds. And same thing, even if it's just a 10 or 20 second interaction, he wants to have something personal with every single player before every single game. And I asked him, I said, he's been managing long enough now in his 10th year, and he's had great success. And, I asked him, do you get to the point, what makes you not feel good about going into a game? Like, where are you're most nervous? He said, the only thing that makes me feel that way, he said, when I don't get a chance to touch every player before the game, because maybe I have an unexpected meeting called, or have to meet with this person or that person longer, or like the baseball analytics department, whoever it might be, a marketing department, because these managers get pulled in so many directions from the baseball operations to the marketing department to the public relations department wants them to do things. So the only time Roberts doesn't feel so good going into a game is when maybe he doesn't get a chance to talk with everybody or touch everybody, as I said. And tied in with that, the interesting thing is the old school managers, like Sparky Anderson, didn't really even want to get to know his players until they were established and older and were with him for a long time. And the reason for that was Sparky and some of the old school managers felt, if I get to know these guys too well, then A, they could get too comfortable, or B, I'm probably going to have to trade them or release them soon. And I don't want any personal emotions involved. So we've kind of gone from that cold era of managers maybe didn't even want to get that much of a personal relationship with the players, and they could just say, hey, go do this, and the players would do it, to now where you have to communicate. It's that way in all walks of life, right? It's not just on the baseball field and with managers and players, but companies and whatever. A lot of today is communication, because young people have been raised differently. And as Bruce Bochy told me in the book, it used to be when I first started managing, I could tell somebody, hey, go do this, and he'd do it. Now, with the younger players, I'll tell somebody, and then they want to know why. And you always have to be ready with an explanation so that whatever you're telling them to do makes sense for them.
Scott Miller joins us here on Sports 1440, Oilers Nation, YouTube, Facebook, and X. And, lots of managers, like the communication thing has changed in every sport, Scott. If
right. Yep.
Players ask more questions now, you got to be a good communicator. And that's smart. I think in parenting now, how you parent your kids probably a lot different than how your parents parented you. That's just how it is, right? And so, but baseball itself, it's funny. In the last few years, there's probably more significant changes in baseball that we've seen than they ever used. Like, they were so traditional for a long time. Are you surprised by that? And do you think that that's going to lead to even more change?
Yeah, it does seem to lead to even more. I mean, we're on target. We saw the flurry of rule changes a few years ago where, some I think are good, some are bad. I mean, I never thought, as I said, I've been covering the game for 35 or 40 years. And if you had asked me even 10 or 15 years ago about, hey, we're going to put a rule change in and it's going to involve a pitch clock and a pitcher has to deliver the ball within 20 seconds or 15 seconds, I would have been against that, the old grumpy purist in me. But the way the game had slowed to a crawl, I think it reached a point, and I say this out of pure love. I mean, obviously, I'm doing what I want to do with my career. Baseball's where I wanted to be. Love the game. Love writing about it. But it had become 4 or 5 years ago, to me, borderline unwatchable. With every single pitch taking 40 seconds to deliver. And we reached a point where there's an average of a ball in play every, I think it was 5 or 6 minutes. I mean, when you got to sit at the ballpark or watch on TV, and there's not even a ball put in play for 5 minutes, that's a quick way to reach for your clicker and go see what's on Netflix, right? I mean, so I love the pitch clock rule. Now, I think it's helped the tempo of the game, the pace of the game. Not so fired up about the, extra innings. We start with a runner on second base. That still seems a little gimmicky to me. And, I think they overreacted with taking away the break up, the double play slide at second base. I think that softened the game some. But, now we're going to see the electronic strike zone before too much longer. I'm sure of it. I do worry we've gone a little bit too techy, but that's every sport. But the problem is when you have an instant replay for everything, or the automatic ball strike zone call, the robo-ump as it's called, it just removes so much soul and emotion from the game. I mean, obviously we want to get the calls right. So instant replay has its time and place, but at the same time, you know, back to managers, one of the more entertaining parts of the game always used to be, you know, a manager, whether it was Earl Weaver or Lou Piniella, had some great ones. You know, Lou would come out, rail at an umpire, and, you know, maybe pick up a base and throw it, and everybody. I mean, that watching the honest passion, I think, helped keep fans glued to the game, and we just don't have as much of that now. And you know, I think as baseball tries to keep the young fans interested, we're going to continue to see more and more change.
What do you make, speaking of change, you've covered the league for a long time, the Dodgers being willing to spend as much as they have, while lots of teams won't spend despite making lots of money?
Yeah.
Do you think that eventually this is going to fans are either going to go two ways? You're going to be like, I'm tired of it because there's only two teams who really spend and they're the only ones who win. Or will they eventually have to say, I'm not going to go to my team's games as a way to boycott it until my owner starts spending all this money they're making?
Yeah, that's the well, baseball, I think last year took in a record $12 billion or something like that. And what you just asked basically is a $12 billion question because, I mean, there are a lot of fans upset. I mean, I'm based in Southern California. I grew up in the Midwest. You know, I talked to some of my friends in the Midwest, and you know, I've one specifically about 2 weeks ago. He lives in Cincinnati, and he asked me, talking about the Dodgers. He's like, you know, spring training opening in 2 weeks. He's like, why should I even be excited about the Reds? You know, I mean, they've been losing lately anyway, but even if they get better, you know, they can't compete with the Dodgers and some of those top teams. And I think that's absolutely true. I'm a little mixed on the Dodgers. I mean, not to give you a wishy-washy answer, but in a way, I think what they're doing is good for baseball in that I think it's always good in a sport when you have a team that everybody either loves or hates. You know, and I think back to the great Red Sox-Yankees rivalry back in the early 2000s, you know, when that got going. You know, I mean, that was some riveting stuff, and it ran its course eventually. But, you know, while it was going, I mean, man, you know, people, you know, you hate the Yankees, you love the Yankees, whatever. I think it's a little bit that way with the Dodgers. I mean, I think if people are continuing to watch the game, even if they hate the Dodgers, you know, they hate watch the game. But that said, yeah, I mean, the disparity in payrolls has gotten more and more exacerbated. And, you know, you got teams with a $250 million payroll. And then, like you said, on the other end, you got teams that are making money, even if they won't admit it, but they'll only spend like $50 million. Like, you know, I can't imagine being a fan of the Pittsburgh Pirates right now because, you know, I mean, it's the same thing every year with them. And they used to be a proud franchise. And I'll even throw, you know, a team closer to you. The Seattle Mariners are really good. They've got like as good a pitching as there is in the game right now, but, you know, ownership won't go that extra step and add that one or two more expensive offensive piece that maybe could get them to the World Series, you know, if they could hit a little better. And, you know, I mean, Seattle ownership seems to be happy because fans keep coming. It's the only game in town within all that radius. I mean, there's no other team in the Pacific Northwest. So, I mean, T-Mobile Park is a great they've got a great facility. It's a great place to watch a game. The fans still love the Mariners, even given the frustration. So to your point, I mean, you know, should fans just, you know, boycott and force the owners to do something? I mean, it's, you know, certainly worth talking about.
Yeah. Well, when is it? Now, you've talked about some of the reviews. Scott, can people get the book, Skipper, Why Baseball Managers Matter and Always Will? Where's the best place to get it?
It's released on May 13th, so we're getting close. It's on pre-sale right now on pretty much wherever you go online. Amazon is everybody's on. Like you could go to Amazon, pre-order it. Target, Barnes and Noble, all those online. And then when it hits the stores May 13th, as they say, it should be available at your favorite local bookstore. You know, whatever you know that is. I mean, I know, and you know. We're just talking about Seattle. You know, I'm sure Elliott Day Books or Barnes and Noble or your, you know, favorite
Chapters here.
Hopefully in Vancouver. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, awesome, man. We look forward to it. I really appreciate your time.
My pleasure, guys. Thank you.
There you go. That is Scott Miller. He's been covering baseball for a long time. Very intrigued by this one because I understand all the advancements and analytics, but there's still a human element. We don't want to take the human element out of the game in any sport. Hey, Greggs, what did you think of Chatfield last night? You know what? I watched it numerous times, and I've seen guys in fights and they spin around. Like, remember Ty Domi? Like, that was one of his go-to moves, not the hip toss, but he wanted to get guys spinning. And I think Chatfield spun him, not thinking like, oh, I'm going to do a hip toss. And then it kind of turned into that. So you don't see it very often. I know people freak out over it, but originally I thought, you know what? That probably should be a suspension. And then today when I went to bed last night, and then even when I did my pod this morning, and then I watched the replay again, I kept watching and watching, and I'm like, well, look at him here. And like he grabs him here and he's spinning. And at that point, I don't think he's thinking hip toss. It ended up being that. I don't know. A hip toss is an exaggeration on my part. It's not a hip toss. I'll say this. If he had a helmet on, no one even thinks it's an issue. And so that's where I was like, so are you really that worried about the action, or are you worried about the maybe because he didn't have a helmet on? All I'll say is this. The next time Washington plays Carolina, I'll be watching very closely because make no mistake, there will be retribution. I like it. We'll come back. We got more on the Oilers. We're in San Jose. No lineup changes. Calvin Pickard will start again for the Oilers. Leon Draisaitl is 4 goals shy of a career high. His previous high was 55. 4 gives him 56. He has never had a 2-goal game on the road in San Jose. Sharks, here's something to watch for tonight. The Sharks have 5 forwards on the penalty kill. Or sorry, 5 forwards on the power play. We'll talk about that when we return on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Play Alberta has hundreds of casino games right at your fingertip. Join thousands discovering why Fortune Coin is one of Alberta's most popular games. Fill your reels with golden coins, multiply your prizes up to 6 times, and turn good spins into legendary ones. Land the Fortune Coin symbol to win cash, trigger the jackpot, launch the free spins bonus, and watch as the dragon takes over your screen. New players get 100 free spins only on playalberta.ca. Claim your offer today.
Volvo Cars Edmonton invites you to their biggest sale of the year. The March showroom event is on now. Lease or finance a 2025 XC60 plug-in hybrid from 1.99% and save $3,500. Lease a 2025 XC90 plug-in hybrid from 1.49% and save $5,500. Lease or finance a 2024 XC40 plug-in hybrid from 0.49% and save $2,500. Don't miss the March showroom event at Volvo Cars Edmonton. Great vehicles, better service. Only at VolvoCarsEdmonton.com.
This is going to make you hungry. Booster Juice just dropped new guacamole and black bean grilled fresh options.
What the guac?
Yeah, a guacamole black bean wrap, guacamole chicken panini, and an egg and chipotle black bean wrap.
What a trio! Holy guacamole!
Bye-bye, boring as bread sandwiches.
Guac, yeah! New flavors, new cravings.
Avocado up to wraps and paninis from Booster Juice. Canadian-born blending since 1999. Download the Booster Rewards app and order one today.
Summit Restaurant, located in the heart of the Silent Ice Center and just minutes from South Edmonton Common. Summit is your destination for exceptional house-made pizza, delicious entrees, and expertly crafted cocktails. Experience the perfect blend of flavor and ambiance in a modern setting. Join us for a straightforward yet elevated dining experience where our commitment to quality speaks to every bite and sip. Make Summit Restaurant your next night on the town.
RV Wars hits the north side, April 3rd to 6th. Go RV, Vision RV, and Arcan RV have joined forces for RV Wars. Take advantage of pre-tariff pricing on travel trailers, fifth wheels, motorhomes, and more. The last of the 2024 models are being cleared out. Make no payments for 6 months OAC. Now is the time to buy with special discounted finance rates. Free admission with a donation to the food bank. RV Wars this weekend on the north side, 9603 165 Avenue. Visit rvwars.ca.
Dang. Last season, you bought new clubs to fix your game. You spent the entire season trying to learn how to hit with your magic clubs. And guess what? Dang. They didn't help your game. Now you're convinced it's your swing, but it really is your clubs. Even though you were told the ones you bought were the best ever made, if they were, you would have gotten better. Every day at Fitted Golf, we continue to prove the right clubs make all the difference in the world. From beginners to pros, Fitted Golf makes all the difference.
Yes.
FittedGolf.ca.
Farm, ranch, acreage, or lake lot. They're here to help at Batshaw Concrete Products. Family owned and operated for 60 years. They continue to provide the best products and service, period. Call now for your free quote on the highest quality ready mix and gravel, a new septic tank, or an outhouse pad and tank. Plus precast cattle water pads, garage sumps, and more. Call 780-372-3854 for prompt delivery. Batshaw Concrete Products. 780-372-3854. BashawConcrete.com.
Spring cleanup is a breeze with the Lawnmower Hospital and BCS Market Garden Equipment. Winter left a mess, and the Lawnmower Hospital brings you solutions. From BCS tillers and rotary plows to power harrows and two-wheel garden tractors that go places a traditional tractor wouldn't dare. You'll find everything BCS at the Lawnmower Hospital, including attachments, accessories, hitches, wheels, and tires, plus more. See lawnmowerhosp.com.
The Lawnmower Hospital.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Culligan. For all your residential water needs, your local water treatment company, more than just big bottles, Culligan.com.
Tricks, touchdowns, and home runs. Get it all with the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
All right. Welcome back. Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Sports 1440, Oilers Nation, YouTube, Facebook, and X. Hope you're having a great Thursday. The weekend is almost here. Going to warm up a little bit. That's nice. -8. I'm done. Okay. It's April. It's warming up a little bit. Let's get some plus here. I know many of you are just itching. You want to get on the course because you want your frustration to elevate. I know some of you are great golfers, so you probably don't have a lot of frustration. And even if you aren't, you still enjoy it. It's a great time. It's more so just the chirps. Anything else, just hanging out with a few of your friends. Who knows, maybe your spouse, partner. You got the good chirps. Just a good time. Enjoy it. It's awesome. It's coming around the corner. Masters next weekend. That's kind of the official start of golf for me. Is when the Masters come, because then usually you got lots of the local courses opening up. So looking forward to another golf season. Should be fun. I think actually the golf show with Meyer and Carius kicks off tomorrow, in fact. So should be good. Let's get to the oil report now, brought to you by Volvo Cars Edmonton. They are Canada's #1 Volvo dealer in new sales, 13-time Excellence Award winner in sales and service. And right now you get fantastic deals on XC90s. You can lease for 1.49% and save an additional $5,000, not 50. That'd be unreal. 5,000 at Volvo Cars Edmonton. .com. Yeah, just as a joke, go in there. Hey, Jordy, Gregor said it's 50 grand. I'm getting off. I'm just repeating that's not true. Okay, a little bit of a slip of the tongue there. 5,000, not 50. Let's hear from Chris Knobloch. Now, see, here's the thing. I don't even know if I want to hear his answer. I kind of do, but we're at the point of the season now where it's the challenges of playing that young team with nothing to lose. Oh yeah, the LA Kings absolutely stomped the Sharks 8-1. Okay, like the Sharks just aren't very good. They've won 20 out of 74 games. Now, 9 of their wins, funny enough, have come against playoff teams. They beat Toronto twice. They beat New Jersey twice. They beat Washington. They beat Dallas. The Oilers needed 18. They were 18 seconds away from losing. So, hey, they can come up and bite you. There's no question. But that's when they even had better defensemen than they got right now. No Wallman, no Ceci. We heard from Shen Peng, their defense top to bottom is you got guys playing in the first pair who are really second pair defensemen. So everything just becomes harder. And to me, the Edmonton Oilers, I'm thinking I'm starting to see a little bit more attention to detail in their game. I've definitely seen an increase in physicality, and the numbers match it. You can read my article today at OilersNation.com, But and I'll just go over the numbers just so you can get a sense in your mind. So in their first 60 games, because that's when I was like, geez, they don't hit a lot. And then I looked it up. I was like, oh yeah, they don't hit a lot. They were like the least physical team since 2008. Now they were never. I don't expect them to run around and be this, the Hanson brothers and running everybody. It's not the case. But they were 40% lower in hits over the last 3 years, just themselves. It's a pretty big drop. So you look at players who their hits per 60 at 5-on-5 in the first 60 games. And then the second number I tell you is what they've been in the last 14. So Podkolzin led the Oilers at 10.2. Last 14 games, 17.5. Emberson went from 6.27 to 8.19. Nurse went 5.5 to 6.94. Henrique, 2.69 up to 3.8. Zach Hyman, pretty much the same, 2.49 to 2.53. Jeff Skinner, 2.18 up to 5.71. Stetcher, 2.1, 4.1. Janmark, 1.8, 4.4. Perry, 1.6, 3.7. McDavid, 1.6, up to 1.8. Arvidsson, 1.5 to 2.8. Connor Brown, who was below 1, he's now up to 1.22. Nugent Hopkins is almost doubled from 0.91 to 1.83. So even John Klingberg went from 0.77 to 5.19. Like collectively. Now there's a few guys, Kulak slightly down, Bouchard slightly down, Kapanen, right? Okay, not every guy's up, but the team in general, way more physical. And I didn't even include Jones, who's now, granted, he's a fourth line guy, but he's had some physicality. Now, wait till you get Frederick, who's physical but more skilled. And then Kane. So it'll help. But the Oilers, there are signs that they're like, okay, time to turn the dimmer up. We got to be ready. And I understand that you would love them to do that every game of the regular season. I can tell you no team does it. Okay, the Florida Panthers aren't great every night, and they won the Cup last year. Okay, they're not. Colorado isn't great every night. I know sometimes you think your team is the only team that's inconsistent. They're not. And the Oilers aren't that inconsistent. They had some stretches where they're great, and then they had some stretches where they struggled, no question. But to me, they look to be trending up right now in the areas that matter. Attention to detail defensively, reducing giveaways, and just increasing their. You got to compete if you want to win in the playoffs. Obviously, you need skill. You got to make the right passes. I get all that. But you just have a willingness to battle harder. And I'm starting to see that. Victor Arvidsson, he's never going to salvage his whole season. He's got 4 goals in the last 8 games. He's been way more noticeable. And the coach, it's not a surprise to me. Arvidsson's back up playing 15-plus minutes a night. Hasn't done that since late October. Now, he'd have the odd game, but not consecutively like he has lately. So I'm seeing signs of them getting better. But here's Knobloch on the challenges of playing that young team with nothing.
Teams like that are just playing free, and they can be very dangerous. Obviously, with the players that they have are some very highly skilled players, play with a lot of speed, and if you're playing loose, and they can really take advantage of that.
Yeah, maybe. I'm not buying it. I understand why they say it. I get it all, but I'm not sure. I'm not there yet. We'll see. Now, the Oilers, they've played in 36 one-goal games. I always wonder how many of those include empty netters after. So is it 36 plus empty netters? They've won 21 of them. What has he seen from his team in the tight games?
Well, I'd be much more comfortable winning by 4 or 5. But I think with this team, under the pressure that they've been through many years, but especially last year in the playoffs, and they understand the importance of tight games and what needs to be done. And there's not a level of panic, which is nice.
I think that's valid for the most part. Does he think at all they're finding a bit of a groove defensively without McDavid? Has it forced them to tighten up at all?
Well, I think getting down to the stretch, knowing how important the defensive game is, whoever we play in the playoffs, whatever round it is, it's going to be a tight checking game, and the best teams are the ones that defend them best, and we can't necessarily rely on opening things up, and we're going to get our chances. We need to defend because it's going to be hard to score. As for our team. I think guys stepped up without the few games that we played without Leon and Connor. Obviously we got Leon back, which is a huge boost to our team. He's continued to do his things that he's done all year, but we're going to need guys to continue playing at a high level, even when we do have both Connor and Leon in.
Yeah, 100%. I think it allows guys, hey, this is how we play. And like, it's not just Connor. It's Matthias Ekholm. It's Frederick. It's Kane. Stuart Skinner. Like, that's a significant addition to your team. And will we see any of the guys, not the only two options, because Kane obviously is on LTIR, but McDavid or Frederick before the road trip ends?
I would say the best possibility would be Frederick joining us on this road trip to play. Everybody else will not.
And what's he heard on Stu Skinner back in Edmonton?
He's doing well. He is not skated yet, but he's doing well and will be picking up on workouts and be on the ice soon.
Well, that's interesting because I heard he was on the ice today, in fact. So maybe he didn't know that. But I heard that Stu Skinner did actually get on the ice. Now, maybe he was just in a tracksuit. Who knows? But I was told that he was on the ice. Matthias Ekholm has been skating back in Edmonton, which is a good sign. And I think you could see Ekholm possibly back in the lineup sometime next week. Of course, the Oilers will return home. They play in Anaheim on Monday. Then they have the Blues are here on Wednesday. The Sharks are in town on Friday, and then the Oilers go to Winnipeg next the Sunday the 13th. Then they're back home against LA on Monday the 14th, and then they wrap up the season against the Sharks on the 16th. So if you look at Matthias Ekholm, they're in no need to rush him back. But I wouldn't be surprised to see him play in one of those two home games next week. McDavid, the fact that McDavid's on the trip and skating is a pretty good sign. Now, I got it from a pretty good source that he's dealing with a groin issue. And obviously with groins, like there is no, because like you can have, a shoulder and you can play with it. All right. You know what? Yeah, it might get a little bit uncomfortable if you get hit here or there, but a groin, you know what? There's the risk of re-aggravating because you're using it all the time when you're skating. It's impossible not to. So, and when you're a thoroughbred like McDavid, it's probably even more popular. So, but the fact that he's skating is good. I haven't seen, how late is he staying out after practice? I'll ask Spec that today. Although, sometimes sometimes they wait because the media go into the room while some of the guys stay on the ice. And then sometimes they put him through the drills because no one's watching. So that happens, right? Because the media are in there and they want to be talking to guys. You only have a certain window. So that's kind of how it goes sometimes with the media. So you don't always get to see what's happening on the ice. Coming up in the next hour, we'll hear from Colin Schock, the head coach of the Condors. And baby, speaking of playoffs, how about this for the Condors? So they have games against Tucson this weekend. 2 games, Saturday and Sunday. And lo and behold, it's the 2 teams that are battling for the final playoff spot in the Pacific Division. The Roadrunners have 67 points. The Condors have 66. The Condors have 2 games in hand. So minimum, you want to get a split this weekend. So then you stay within a point, but you still have the 2 games in hand. Losing both could be massive because then you're 5 points back only with 2 games in hand. So even if you win, now you don't control your destiny. So this is a huge weekend coming up for the Condors. We'll talk about their health and more with Colin Schock. We got Spec coming up. Luke Pierce will join us. The Oil Kings right now, they're in the driver's seat, up 3-1 against the PA Raiders. Game 5 goes tomorrow night in Prince Albert. So we'll talk about all that. Get to the Oilers and the Sharks. I'll talk a little playoffs. Also, how about some changes to the NHL draft? It's coming in some ways, but what about some other options? We'll look at what the NHL should consider and why now, under the new CBA, is maybe the best time to do it. It's coming up next on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca. Let's get to the Con Man Sports 1440 update. Brought to you by Booster Juice, the 3 new food options, the guacamole chicken panini, guacamole black bean wrap, and egg and chipotle black bean wrap. Visit your nearest Booster Juice today and try one.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
It's a game day. The Oilers on the road down in San Jose taking on the Sharks. Puck drop in this one just after 8:30. We've got pregame coverage with Andrew Walker and Donovan Paulson getting going at 7:30 here on Sports 1440. Elsewhere around the league, Golden Knights host the Jets. The Ducks are in Calgary. Utah hosting the Kings. You got the Preds in Dallas. Blues meet the Penguins. Avs take on the Jackets. Sens host the Lightning, and the Bruins in Montreal for a meeting with the Canadiens. Major League Baseball today, one game right now. Astros lead the Twins 5-2 in the 7th. Earlier today, it was the Red Sox over the Orioles 8-4, and the Rockies falling to the Phillies 3-1. Later tonight, Yankees host the Diamondbacks, and the Reds head to Milwaukee. In the association, the Raptors will take on the Portland Trailblazers just after 5:30. You also have the Warriors in Los Angeles to take on the Lakers. Heat host the Grizz, Timberwolves, and Nets, and the Sixers up against the Bucks. And some news from the NFL today. Arizona Cardinals making Pro Bowl tight end Trey McBride the highest paid tight end in NFL history with a 4-year, $76 million extension with $43 million guaranteed. McBride finished last season with 111 receptions, over 1,100 yards, and 2 touchdowns. In the dub, the Vancouver Giants in Spokane taking on the Chiefs. Spokane leads that series 2-1. Puck drop just after 8. Coming up in hour 3 of the Jason Gregor Show, we'll be joined by the Oilers AHL affiliate head coach Colin Chalk, and we'll ask 5 questions. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440, Stingray radio station. CKJR broadcasts from West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin.
Download the free Stingray music app and listen wherever you go.
Spring, where everything is coming up roses, except for GS Construction. We're heading underground, and we couldn't be happier. Spring is always a busy time of year for everyone trying to get out there and do some work. Well, GS Construction agrees. And we also agree that we just might need some help. So if you're looking to work and join a group where safety, teamwork, and continuous improvement have been at our core since 1974, send us a resume. Come work with us this spring. Visit gsconstruction.ca today.
Edmonton's premium live music and party venue is
On the Rocks.
Check out Bingo Tunes on Monday. Perform on the best stage in town with karaoke on Wednesdays. Learn how to salsa with Salsa Rocks on Thursdays. And every weekend, OTR goes live.
With your favorite bands on the OTR stage and DJ Kenny K.
For everything that's going on at On the Rocks, give us a follow.
Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter.
At On the Rocks, EDM.
Eat well, party hard.
On the Rocks.
On the Rocks.
On the Rocks. Open every day till 2 a.m. The job isn't done until the last load is hauled, and having a semi-trailer out of commission is not an option. Whether replacing or adding to your convoy, Edmonton Trailer has a huge inventory of new and used semi-trailers, trusted by the gravel, logging, oil field, fluids, and freight industries. Find a trailer right for you online or at one of their 3 locations. For sales, service, parts, rental, and finance, when you're in it for the long haul, Edmonton Trailer.
Wow. Get ready for a silly hockey fans. Your partner in power just skated onto the ice.
EWEL.ca, the new e-commerce website for electrical wholesalers Edmonton, is ready for the power play 24/7, 365.
UL skates to where the puck will be in 5 years. Now that's forward thinking.
Killer selection, slamming products from the best brands, and legendary service.
Don't sit on the bench. Get your account today at EWEL.ca and win that project.
Plug into your partner in power. Get an EWEL.ca account today.
The Alzheimer's Face-Off presented by Christensen Communities Limited hits the ice April 25th to 27th. Don't miss the Champions Luncheon on Friday, April 25th at the Edmonton Convention Center. Tables are on sale now. This year's event is hosted by accomplished sports journalist and author Scott Morrison and features the legendary locker room tales of Mike Keenan. Iron Mike grew from a highly respected NHL player to one of the most passionate coaches in hockey history. For more information or to purchase your Champions Luncheon table, visit alzheimersfaceoff.ca.
Truck Month is on now at GMC, and it's one of the best times to get behind the wheel. Right now, get a $5,000 cash purchase credit on 2025 Sierra HD models with a 13.4-inch diagonal center touchscreen, an available Duramax 6.6-liter turbo diesel V8 engine with 470 horsepower. Plus, the most trailering assistance technologies in its class. Sierra has some serious hauling power and is the only off-road ready HD. Truck Month is on now. Ask your GMC dealer for details.
Don't settle for being on the rate of last resort if you don't have to be. Check your most recent electricity bill. If it says the words rate of last resort on it, then there are likely better options available for you. In fact, you could save hundreds of dollars per year by switching plans. Check your bill Then go to ucahelps.ca to explore your options. You will likely find a better rate and could have hundreds more in your pocket by the end of the year. A message from the Government of Alberta.
Excavators, loaders, lifts, compaction equipment, and more. Find the XCMG construction equipment you need. Available for rental or sale at Japa Machinery Group. Japa, helping build Alberta from the ground up for 50 years. Visit japamachinery.com.
Is this the real life? Is this just fantasy? Caught in a landslide, no escape from reality. Open your eyes, look up to the skies, see.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Action Electrical. They're the most diversified electrical contractor in Alberta with 4 divisions and projects, service, tag, and solar for commercial or residential. Contact them today at actionelectrical.net.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Ooh. Oh, yeah. How are you? Welcome back. Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Sports 1440, Oilers Nation, YouTube, Facebook, and X. Some days we just have like a singing contest on the show. I remember when we did, we had the karaoke contest. We had some really good contestants in that. I still remember and I forget her name, but she came on stage and Cons, were you there? Did you come for the Little Mermaid?
You know what? I came for the first couple songs, but I had to go to the night show.
Okay.
So I missed
So
the
you
end of
weren't
it.
there. We did it a few times, and I'll still never forget. Like, people took it pretty serious. Well, you put up a cash prize and a few G's, and then all of a sudden everybody's into it, which is great. And you might have to, things that I would bring back. I would do that again. And I think now with social media, and the application process would be good because people could send in videos, not just audio, if they wanted to. Right? It'd be pretty easy. Just record yourself, boom, send in the video because we wanted to make sure the finalists were good. So there you go, boys. As long as you get Struds on there. Well, Struddy was there the one year. It didn't go well. You weren't there for that. Where Majot was here, and
I saw him at the Oil King game once.
Oh yeah,
he'll put on a show.
He's definitely a showman.
Yeah,
for sure. Yeah, if you got earplugs, you're just like, wow, that's really entertaining. But now his wife, a lot better. Showman, a showwoman as well, but a little bit better of a singer for sure. So, Ryan Meyer was probably the best, but he's a professional singer, so that's it's a little bit of an advantage he has on that point. A little bit of an advantage. Now, I was talking about the draft earlier, and I know other fans are kind of like, the draft doesn't matter. And see, that's the thing. You can make an argument that in a lot of cases, the draft in the NHL, because of the age, that, okay, the first 10 picks, you're like, okay, some of them are going to help right away, and they're going to help later on. But after that, it becomes a real crapshoot. Like, when you look at the success rate to get a third-round pick to play 100 games in the NHL, which is just over one season. Do you know what the odds are of that, Connor Halley?
Negative.
No. It's like 12%.
Well, I mean, I don't know the answer.
Yeah. Like 12%. And you're kind of like, what? So when I look at the NHL and the new CBA is coming, we know the new rules now in NCAA. So they're going to have to change something at bare minimum. Because if you draft a player who's playing in CHL at 17, because they're not old enough to go to the NCAA, but then they go to NCAA, usually you have to sign them within 2 years, but they can't sign if they're in NCAA until they leave. So what if they want to play there for 3 years? So now it might just be as simple as saying, hey, if the guy is drafted out of junior, but then goes to college, you own his rights for, until he declares he wants to come out, which is kind of how it works now, right? So now there's two different endpoints. You can come a free agent before July 1st, or sometimes you have to wait, depending if it's your third year, until August 15th. So there's small little rules, but either one, they could make it happen. But why wouldn't you look at, and I've said this and I've crunched all the numbers, that moving the draft age back even 1 year makes a significant difference. First of all, do you know how many players in a draft are now already, as their 18-year-old year, not their 17-year-old year? We're up to 50%, over 50% of drafts. Guys are getting drafted in their draft year +1, draft year +2. Oh, why? Because you're like, geez, I'm not really sure about this kid. Because you're really, kids that are going in the draft this year, it's their 17-year-old year. Now, some of them have turned 18 in January or February or March, some, but not all, right? Half the league is done, right, before the end of March. And then you get another bunch of players that get knocked out in the first round. So some of them being 18, it's really their 17-year-old year. You're willing to invest that much for your league on 17-year-olds. Like, it's ludicrous. And all the numbers back it up. Players in the NHL, first rounders, second rounders, undrafted. That's the next highest rate of player in today's NHL. Not third rounders, not fourth rounders, not fifth, undrafted players. And you're just kind of like, why? And they continue to accept it as like, well, that's what we've always done. And they're so scared to make change. So age would be one that's easy to do. Now, Frank and I are on our podcast this morning to talk about, he had a unique one. Because Cons, what do you have to do in basketball? You have to declare.
Yeah, and I was going to say they in 2006 made the leap saying no high school students must be 19. So it's been done in other leagues.
Yes, 100%, right? Now, if you wanted to, right, for the Connor McDavids and the rare players, right? There's very few, and I've done it. It's an average of 2 18-year-olds, like pure 18-year-olds who are in the NHL every year. 2. Some years there's 1, 2, and it's actually like even less than 1. It's like 1.8. So if you want to have your draft and you move the age back, but you say the top 5 picks, because if they're going to be that special, that's where they're going to get taken. They can be, quote, underage. So you're not going to have anybody trying to argue it. Although I'm not even sure the labor thing could say that, because you could say, well, if you want to make money, you can go to NCAA now for your 18-year-old year and play there. Right? That's the option. And I do wonder how that changes it. But so here's 2 things I would look at, Connor. NFL has a 7-round draft, and they have 53 players. The NHL has a 7-round draft, and they have a 23-man roster. You can make your draft picks more valuable if there's 5 rounds. Now, because the NHL used to have 11 rounds, they used to have 9. Right now, they're down to 7. They might not want to go less than that. I get it, because they want to have more players under control. I understand it. But you know who? The players would like it, because now you don't get drafted in the first 5. Well, now you're a free agent, right? You can sign with whoever you are, depending on your age, because now the draft year is going to be older. But it puts more of an emphasis to make good picks. It also will increase the value of your draft picks. Because right now, I always chuckle when I get some Oiler fan. I can't believe they gave up a 3rd rounder for this guy. And I'm like, an 11% chance that this guy plays 100 games in the NHL, and you're worried about that? Why? Why are you worried about it? You can get a player for 3-4 years. The chances of that guy ever even playing that many games is very low. So right now, I'm telling you, I'd be willing, if I could trade guys like Podkolzin for a 4th rounder, I would do that all. I don't care that Podkolzin's not a great scorer. He's an NHL player. He can skate well. He's physical enough, right? If he scores you 8 goals, 10 goals a year, kills penalties, he's got a good goal for differential, you have no problem with that. That 4th rounder, it's not going to help you for minimum 5 years. And then the chance the guy even pans out's even lower. So you'd make those trades all day long. And what's funny is in the NHL, watch why the bad teams stay bad. Like, look at San Jose tonight. It's a prime example. They gave up Jake Wallman, who has another year left on his deal, for what's going to be a first round. We don't even know how late. It might be 28th, it might be 29th. At best, it's going to be 25th, probably. Right? Oh, no, I guess at best, it could be like 22nd. So, really? For a guy who's on a great term? Why? How does that help your team? If you want your young players to improve, they need good players around them. They don't need all young guys who aren't ready to play. And so right now, the system, it's funny how at times the losing teams overvalue draft picks. Oh, yeah, if we stockpile them all, Cons, we got a lot of picks. Yeah, we're going to make them work. Well, history tells you even if you're a good drafting team, you might get 2 good players a year. Right? Like, look at the history of it. If you get 2 players out of the draft that are legit NHLers, that's a hell of a draft. But you got 7 rounds. Sometimes you have multiple picks in a round. So I really think the NHL and the upcoming CBA, now's the time for them to consider some significant change. Now, do I think they'll do it? No, because they're scared of change, it seems. They move very slow. But you've got some shifts going on here. And the draft is better the later it is. Anybody out there is fooling themselves, thinking that it's better younger. It's not. Not even close. Look, how many guys come in the NHL under the age of 21 and are actually impacting the game enough? Now, some guys on bad teams, sure. But like even Will Smith. Look at Will Smith. Will Smith is a 4th overall pick, if I'm not mistaken. Right? And, people are like, oh, yeah, I'm really high on Will Smith. And I'm like, okay, well, what's Will Smith doing? He's got 13 goals, 37 points. Like, getting lots of power play time, getting lots of opportunities, got 13 goals and 37 points. Now, he's going to gain some experience. I get all that. But what if he was still in college for another year? Right? How would it hurt him? His confidence would be better. He'd be touching the puck more in college. He'd be working out more. How would he not be better? Right? How's it going to be worse? I don't get it. So, hey, guys, what are the total odds of 3rd to 7th round picks? Well, I think it's 11, and then I think it goes down 10. Funny enough, like 5th, 6th, 7th, it's not much difference. It fluctuated anywhere between, I think 6th rounders actually in a stretch of a 15-year span that I did actually ended up being like 1.5% higher. But you can't really add them all. But it was 11 was the highest I had and I did a 20-year one. And then it was 8 to 9% for the other rounds. So, yeah, it's not a lot at all. Not a lot. Hey, Gregory, you're onto something. Look at the NFL draft. I'm not even a huge NFL fan, but I watch a draft because my team could draft 3 or 4 guys and they're all going to play. Bingo. Right? Like the NHL draft, you're drafting players that are good now, but you're really trying to project that they're going to be in 5 years. How hard is that going to be? Because you don't even know. Some of these kids have never had to deal with adversity in their hockey life ever. They've been the best players on their team. Now, all of a sudden, you turn pro hockey. You're playing against, because they've always played against guys 1, 2, at most 4 years. You're a 16-year-old and junior and they're 20, right? That's at most. And there's 3 guys in those teams. Now you get to pro hockey. You're playing guys who are 10 years older than you. Stronger, more experience, meaner. So many different things. How can you tell that you're like, I think this guy's going to adapt to it? Draft will tell you it doesn't. Doesn't. So it's something I would strongly consider. And I think the NHL should really look at changing some things because it's not going to hurt for them to do it. It's not going to get worse. I'll tell you that. When we come back, Colin Chalk, speaking of young players, Matt Savoy, the rest of the Condors, they need some wins. I got a huge weekend coming up. We'll talk about it next in the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
At Fountain Tire, our focus is taking care of your vehicle. Your focus? Saving up to 25% off select tires. Plus, getting up to a $120 mail-in rebate on a set of 4 select tires until April 26th. So we both win. Fountain Tire. We're on this road together.
Noodle, 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 noodle. Noodle, 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 noodle.
Troll down to Oodle Noodle tonight because dine-in is open.
You've got a go-to coffee spot, a trusted barber, even a lucky game day jersey. But when it's about looking your absolute best, there's only one name you need, Mr. Dirk. Family run since 1939, we're experts in crafting impeccable tailor-made suits and offering a wide variety of everyday styles. Pair that with personalized one-on-one fittings and the convenience of on-site tailoring. Mr. Dirk elevates your style game. Visit our Edmonton store or explore MrDirk.com. Score big on style with Mr. Dirk.
Silent Ice Sports and Entertainment is an innovative market leader across Western Canada with sports and entertainment properties including the Spruce Grove Saints, the Junior Prospects Hockey League, Silent Rides Charter Company, the Hockey Super League, and the newly launched Female Super League. Silent Ice also owns the Western Hockey League's Seattle Thunderbirds and operates the Morinville AAA Arena. The Silent Ice Center, a new state-of-the-art entertainment facility, is open in Nisku, which features 2 sheets of ice, including a 1,600-seat arena and a restaurant with a viewing area.
Is it Riverside Motorsports?
No. It's Riverside Motorsports. Over 55 years in business, and people still get it wrong.
Guess it's time to get it right.
Riverside Motorsports. What you do for fun is our business.
Spring into savings at The Brick. Refresh your home with huge discounts. Get up to 35% off sofas and sectionals and up to 25% off bedroom and dining furniture. Dreaming of better sleep? Upgrade your mattress game. Get a king for the price of a queen on select mattresses. Plus, save the tax when you buy 3 or more major kitchen appliances. Some exclusions apply. See in store for details. The Brick, proudly Canadian since 1971.
Play Alberta has hundreds of casino games right at your fingertip. Join thousands discovering why Fortune Coin is one of Alberta's most popular games. Fill your reels with golden coins, multiply your prizes up to 6 times, and turn good spins into legendary ones. Land the Fortune Coin symbol to win cash, trigger the jackpot, launch the free spins bonus, and watch as the dragon takes over your screen. New players get 100 free spins only on PlayAlberta.ca. Claim your offer today.
Actions speak louder than words. Japa Machinery Group puts your construction plan into action with XCMG construction machinery you need. Available for rental or sale. Learn more at japamachinery.com.
Portions of this hour brought to you by On the Rocks. Watch every Oilers game at OTR with $5.25 Molson Canadian, $5 Pink Whitney shots, and 60-cent wings. Plus, play Oilers Score and Win for your chance to win On the Rocks gift cards. Oilers hockey at OTR. Book your table today. Jasper Ave in 118th.
Hat tricks, touchdowns, and home runs. Get it all with the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Welcome back. Hey, if your name is Gino today, you've been in a good mood. Geno Smith, 2-year deal, $75 million. Woo. Good money if you can get it. The new QB of the Raiders. So, league's got a lot of money. So, hey, good for Gino. I never get upset. You know what? You want to pay the guy that much money? Good for him. Good for him. Let's go in the room now, brought to you by Action Electrical. Take action on your savings with one of Alberta's most diversified electrical contractor. Projects and service, tag, and of course, energy, both solar and EV. Go to actionelectrical.net and learn more. And also, a little teaser. We got a big announcement coming up next week with Action. Looking forward to it. Speaking of big, huge weekend upcoming for the Bakersfield Condors. They are currently in a heated battle for the final playoff spot in the Pacific Division. They have 66 points, 64 games. Tucson has 67 points, but they played 66 games. So the Condors have 2 games at hand. They're 1 point back. Doesn't look like they're going to catch the Barracuda or the Wranglers at this point. So it's these two teams battling it out. And lo and behold, the schedule maker probably looking at himself, getting him a little pat on the back, because this weekend, the Condors are taking on Tucson Saturday and Sunday. Head coach of the Condors, Colin Chalk, joins us once again. Coach, welcome back to the show, man. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me on, Jason.
Well, Colin, these are the games you get excited for. I know it's not officially a playoff game, but it's got massive playoff implications against Tucson, and you will be you're looking forward to that game Saturday and Sunday. I guess let's first of all start about the health of your team. Where are you at health-wise?
Okay, health-wise, Cameron Wright, for another 4 weeks. Phil Kemp, another 4 weeks. Josh Brown has been home with some personal stuff going on since I believe March 8th.
Yeah.
Peterson done for the season, Jarvante done for the season, and Jaden Grube day-to-day, Jacob Rowe day-to-day, and the last one, Dermott, just joined us yesterday for his first practice. So we're expecting that he will return to the lineup on a Saturday night in Tucson.
Okay, so
that's
a big addition to your blue line to get him in.
Yes, but he hasn't since he was claimed from waivers from Edmonton. He hasn't taken part in any team activity. So, I think that's been close to 3 weeks. So, definitely be an addition, but hasn't played a hockey game in a long time, and then a team practice either. But he's a defenseman with a lot of NHL experience. So let's believe his experience will get him through game one. So then we'll assess it day to day, just see how his health is from there.
Yeah, my understanding, he was away from the team, him and his wife, dealing with the new baby and everything like that, and so it looks like it's all sorted away. So that's good. You look at the matchup specifically against Tucson. What do you like about your team that maybe matches up well in how Tucson plays?
We just need to skate against them. We believe we're a little quicker than them, and we know that they're heavier than us. They're big, they're strong, real physical. We got to do everything we can to keep the puck moving, and more importantly, keep it moving forward, and try to play more of a speed game. But they're a good team, and 2 games at home, they'll be a tough contest.
So, Colin, you look at Matt Savoy, since he's come down, and points don't always tell the whole story, but I know offensive guys want to produce. How's he been since coming back from Edmonton?
Oh, he's been great. Talking to Chris, he really liked his game when he was there. I know the record or the result wasn't great for the team, but Matt was impactful. Was good on the forecheck up top, and then when he came back to us, he's been excellent. Aside from the first 20 games in the season, right, and it's his first season, and the division on this side is heavier than in Rochester, where he played a handful of games previous season. Aside from that part, getting his understanding, building trust with the coaches, and then getting him some constant line mates, and for a good part of there, Lane Peterson, Drake Cajula, and then James Hamlin really helped him because he's a left shot center, to be able to move the puck naturally to the right side. And then James is just so responsible defensively. They really took off from there. So Matt's been great playing in, top penalty kill situations, top power play situations, 5-on-6, 6-on-5. He takes face-offs sometimes in the power play, and then all these teachable, successes, failures, and then he's on the brink of scoring 20 goals in his first year. Which to put that in perspective, Rafi Lavoie scored 20 last year. Lane Peterson scored 20. The year before, only Rafi Lavoie scored 20. So it's a big deal to score 20 in this league.
Noah Phillips' offense has really picked up here in the last 10 games. I think he's got 9 points in the last 10 games, including 4 goals. And he's a guy that, I think he's capable of doing this. What have you seen offensively from Phil lately that's got you excited?
Yeah, Noah, like when Noah's playing his best, he's transporting the puck through the neutral zone. He's not really a give and go guy, but he's someone who'll drive the net. He'll cut into the middle. Off the wing. The biggest thing that when he's doing well is he's getting the puck off the wall and he's carrying to the middle of the ice. He's big, he's strong, he has a good reach. He's physical and he has a great shot. So and then he's a tough customer as well. So when he's playing that way, he's really effective, and he's also playing, second PP, first or second penalty kill, and also on in important situations, taking important faceoffs on his power side in the game as well. So he's been great. I think he's got 15 goals, scored 19 2 years ago. It'd be nice for him to catch a little fire here and get to 28 games left. It'd be tough, but definitely doable.
Colin Chalk joins us, head coach of the Condors. Obviously a challenge. Your starting goaltender most of the year is up here now with Edmonton, which is obviously great. That's the whole goal, but I'm sure you'd like him down there. But what's your plan in between the pipes this weekend?
Yeah, we're planning on starting Brochu on Saturday. He's had 3 consecutive starts in a row and over 9. I think it's over a 920, 925 save percentage. So, it's pretty remarkable, and we're gonna go with that from now. And we know that we have a very good, a steady veteran guy in Colin Delia ready to go. And like you said, Ollie, after 4 seasons, had his chance to get up and make a save in the National League, and pretty excited. I know for Sly, for Schwarty, for Kelly Guard, and then as long as Oilers management and coaches to see him get up there and be an everyday player for the time being until Stu obviously is healthy.
Yeah, you mentioned like Brett Brochu, and he was playing in the ECHL. He comes up, he had really good numbers in the ECHL. And, since he's come with you, like I said, great numbers, 202 goals against, the save percentage is 937. This guy's a former, world junior goaltender. It's a position that just takes a little bit longer for lots of guys to develop. Well, has he surprised you at all, or is he a similar style of goaltender than Rodriguez? Does he fit how your team plays?
He's a battler. And, when Colin hadn't played, the thought process going in with management and all the coaches was, we wanted to get him in a game, just like we got Brady Stonehouse in and Prokop and any players that we had up, we want to get him in the game as part of the development part. Right. Yeah. But then you got to take the eye test, right? So if he goes in, whoever that is, and plays really well, then great. You have a somewhat of a decision to make. If the player goes in and is not good, then the answer is easy. You go to the next available person and a very capable person in Colin Delia. So he went in and he was excellent. He's a battler. He competes, like you said. He's played on the big stage as far as London Knights in the OHL. He understands what it means to win. He's been on the World Juniors at the highest level. But then to your point, right, that there's only 2 positions on each team, right? Yeah. So it's sometimes you got to wait your turn. And Stu wasn't the number 1 in Bakersfield until the goaltender went down, and all of a sudden he was kind of pushed in to play games, and his development went from there. So everybody's path is different, and I think when you and I were growing up, it was like, this is your chance. This is your chance. And I think in today's player, it's like, just make the most of your next chance. And however it goes, learn from it. And it won't be your only chance. You'll get another chance, but you don't know when that next chance is going to come. And right now, Brett's making the most of this opportunity.
Yeah. And you know what? Hey, players always talk about opportunities, and really in life, you get an opportunity, and then it's kind of up to you to take advantage of it. So is your plan, if he plays well Saturday, you're going back to back, or do you want to split the goalies regardless of what happens Saturday?
Yeah, I think, it's like right now, because what I've learned now going in year 5 or 6 in the American League is that you especially at this time of year, right? The Oilers may sign somebody, Damien Carfagna, but he's not going to be available to play. So it's like you gotta operate day to day, and that's not, I'm not copping out of the question, or obviously we play scenarios in our minds with the coaches, and Keith Gretzky, our general manager, development staff, would say, what do you guys think? And we kind of get everyone's opinion. At the end of the day, it's my decision, but we got to go day to day, and we see, how the guys are doing. And I think right now with some, Stonehouse in and Prokop in, you have a couple more guys, maybe guys that are Jaden Grube day to day. He might be able to play this weekend. Maybe Dermott doesn't make it through the first game and he can't play the second one. I don't know, so the goaltender, if he's excellent, yeah, he'll probably play Sunday again. If but we'll have to go see how it goes, I guess. So
yeah. No, I think it's fair. You're just saying, hey, it depends on what Saturday goes. I don't want to force myself to say, hey, Colin, you're playing automatically, or you're not playing. So you kind of wait to see how it goes. Now, goalies, we see it in the American League maybe a little bit more, Colin, where goalies do go back to back more than we see in the NHL. And it's probably, you need to see that at that level from young guys, just to see kind of how they handle it. Do you have a conversation with Brett? I'm assuming he's went back to back lots in the ECHL this year.
Yes, and it's Jeff Saleko handles the Fort Wayne goaltender, so to speak. So he's down there, on a weekly basis. So I think on the back to back is that you'll see a little bit more in the American League, is because there's no travel, right? So we'll play Saturday and then Sunday in Tucson, say for example. Or this week we were Friday, Saturday home. It gets a little bit dicier when you're Friday in Henderson and you don't get home until 3:00 in the morning. You got to play, 5:00 at home, say for example. So those things take into account. But the Fort Wayne staff, the coaches, they are here in training camp. They come see us in Penticton. I know management has been down to Fort Wayne. I know Keith has been down to Fort Wayne to keep an eye on guys that are there, and just ready and willing when the opportunity presents itself, whether it's based on performance, development, or injury.
Colin, best of luck this weekend. It should be exciting, and hope you guys come up away with a few victories and find yourself in a playoff spot come Monday.
Awesome. I like the way that sounds, so I appreciate taking the time to have me on. Thank you.
There you go. Appreciate it. Head coach of the Condors, Colin Schock. So huge weekend. I know some of you diehard Oiler fans, you can watch those games stream online, because of course the Oilers play Saturday afternoon. You could watch the night games if you like. Condors and Tucson. Now they're separated by 1 point. Condors have 2 games in hand. They got 8 games to go. Tucson has 6, and they'll have 2 of them this weekend. So to me, you get a split. You're still within 1. You still have 2 games in hand. You just can't get swept, I think, this weekend if you're a Condor. And ideally, your win comes in regulation. We'll come back with 5 questions, and we got spec and more on a busy Thursday edition of the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
You know how you look forward to all your favorite sports coming back in the spring? Soccer, baseball, golf. Well, GS Construction looks forward to getting back to work with the warmer weather. We're all excited and geared up for this very busy time of year. The groundbreaking season is upon us, and GS Construction is ready to roll with all sorts of new projects. Projects that help the community and make the place we live in better. For more on what we do, visit gsconstruction.ca.
You got a go-to coffee spot, a trusted barber, even a lucky game day jersey. But when it's about looking your absolute best, there's only one name you need. Mr. Dirk. Family run since 1939. We're experts in crafting impeccable tailor-made suits and offering a wide variety of everyday styles. Pair that with personalized one-on-one fittings and the convenience of on-site tailoring. Mr. Dirk elevates your style game. Visit our Edmonton store or explore MrDirk.com. Score big on style with Mr. Dirk.
Do it. Your vehicle is a big investment. Protect it at Hughes Car Wash. We use only clean, fresh water and the highest quality car wash soap. Hughes Car Wash, the car wash pros.
Find us at hughescarwash.com.
Day or night, tasting just right. You can order oodle noodle at oodlenoodle.ca, delivering you the news almost right away. Remember, you can order oodle noodle at oodlenoodle.ca. So stay on your couch all day and order oodlenoodle.ca. Oodle noodle.
Edmonton's premium live music and party venue is
On the Rocks.
Check out Bingo Tunes on Monday. Perform on the best stage in town with karaoke on Wednesdays. Learn how to salsa with Salsa Rocks on Thursdays. And every weekend, OTR goes live.
With your favorite bands on the OTR stage and DJ Kenny K.
For everything that's going on at On the Rocks, give us a follow.
Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter.
At On the Rocks, EDM.
Eat well, party hard.
On the Rocks.
On the Rocks.
On the Rocks. Open every day till 2 a.m.
Experience more at the Edmonton Expo Center. Come for Canada's largest trade show, the biggest names in entertainment, exhilarating sporting events, and more. Stay for the experience. But it doesn't end there. Maximize your brand exposure with Edmonton Expo Center's new cutting-edge feature screens, spanning Western Canada's largest venue space. Captivate an annual audience of over 1 million visitors during iconic events like Pro Rodeo, Disney on Ice, Glow, K-Days, and so much more. To learn more, call 780-660-0514 or visit edmontonexpocenter.com today.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Can Torque. We offer sale, rental, repair, and calibration of hydraulic, pneumatic, and battery-powered torque wrenches, stud tensioners, and flange maintenance equipment. Order today at cantorque.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Sports 1440. Oilers Nation, YouTube, Facebook, and X. Hope you're having a lovely Thursday. Late game tonight. One of the latest of the year. Well, tonight, and then, of course, the final game of the season, because the Sharks' home games are about 8:40, 8:42, 8:43 Edmonton time for a puck drop. So feel free to get home, have a nap. But I know you diehards, you'll be up watching it. Even if the Oilers are up 5-1 going into the third, you'd be like, maybe someone's on hat trick watch. I got to stay up. Good for you. Good for you. The Oilers fans should never take for granted how committed their fans are. The Oilers organization should never take them for granted. With the salary, the season seat increase, you wonder, though. You do wonder. Let's get to 5 questions brought to you by The Brick. Or saving you more is what they do. Furniture, mattresses, appliances, big screen TVs, and the best mattresses to give you the best sleep at The Brick.
It's time for 5 questions on the Jason Gregor Show.
All right, Jason, kind of a traditional question here as the Oilers take on the San Jose Sharks tonight. What's going to happen? And if you had to maybe wager a little bit at PlayAlberta.ca, anytime goal scorer that you can't pick Leon Draisaitl, who would it be?
Ooh. Well, you know what? I'm going to go Jake Wallman. Forward team, scored his first goal, and the Sharks, they're going to get a lot of chances. Rookie goaltender, we heard from Shen Peng, not very good. So I'm going to go with Jake Wallman because I also think it'll be the first time in his career he's ever scored in consecutive road games. So I'll go Wallman.
And how about the prediction for the game?
Oh, yeah. Edmonton wins 5-2.
I was like, great minds. We had the same score prediction there. Okay, I'll go even a little more. 5-1. You could throw $10 down on a Noah Gregor and win 120 hypothetically if you wanted to do so. But I'm going to take Adam Henrique. That'll be my pick.
All right.
I'll go for a little bit more of a payday here.
Yep.
Question number 2. Of the first round series possibly that we could see in the NHL playoffs, the way it's shaping up, which one has you the most intrigued?
Well, if it's the Battle of Florida, I can't. I'll be watching those games for sure. That's the one time I'm like, oh, the Oilers on the. Like, I would love it if the Oilers could be the late game on the same night that Florida and Tampa plays. That'd be unreal. That would be like, pregame watching Florida Tampa, unreal. And then you go right into it. So I will say Florida Tampa, but followed closely by Dallas and Colorado. Although, like, if Winnipeg loses tonight and Dallas wins, Dallas is suddenly 2 back with the game in hand. So that Dallas-Colorado series might not happen. We could have a Jets, though, Colorado series then. A rematch of last year's first round. That can be a little juicy. But I'll still take Florida Tampa.
Yeah, Winnipeg, Vegas tonight going to be a big game for the Jets. And hard to disagree with you with those two. I mean, those series are going to be unbelievable if they happen. But I would also be fired up to see a Battle of Ontario. The Sens taking on the Maple Leafs. Obviously, the Sens would be underdogs going into it. But with the Leafs' lack of playoff success, it'd be a fun one to watch and hopefully get heated. I would be there for it if it were to happen. Question number 3, you touched on it a little bit there. The Chatfield takedown on McMichael last night. Thoughts? Did you think it warranted any fine suspension?
Originally, I did, yeah. When I saw it last night, and then I watched it again this morning, and I was like, geez, I don't know. And then I said, what if he had a helmet on? If there's a helmet on, I don't think anybody's even talking about it. Because then I went back and I was watching guys like taking down guys in situations like that. No one ever talks about it. So it was really the lack of a helmet that got people upset. So I probably changed my tune a little bit on it because originally last night I thought for sure it was a suspension.
Yeah, I mean, I just looked Chatfield up. No suspension history, no fines. So, I kind of just thought like you don't like to see it because it could be really bad. But I don't think too many guys are out there with that strategy to rip them down like that. So didn't love it. Very scary. Could have been a lot worse. But I just don't think there's much you can do about it. Question at number 4. Islanders forward Anthony Duclair taking some time away after some harsh criticism from his head coach, Patrick Waugh. Now, Waugh's in his first full season with the Islanders. Do you think he's going to be there long-term, someone who can get them in the right direction?
Well, here's the thing. Now, I didn't watch the game. Did Anthony Duclair play bad?
Probably.
So what are we doing? Well, the coach said I played bad. I need time away. Like, I don't know. Maybe he's got something else on his mind. But hey, you're in a heated sport. Coach is going to say some things. Coach isn't your best friend. All he said was, hey, you know what? He wasn't very good tonight. He's lucky to get ice time. Let's go back and watch the game. And then, you know what? Maybe be honest of assessment about yourself. Now, if you didn't think you played poor, say, oh, yeah, coach? Well, I'm going to show you. Bleep you. But, yeah, so I don't love it, to be honest. Do you think Raw is the right guy to lead them? I don't blame the coach when you don't have a lot of talent. Lou Lamoriello continues to think that this core could win. And it's the same the last few. He's still holding out hope for those 2 years when they went to the conference finals. We can rebuild that. We can redo that. It's not happening. Right? The Islanders, like, they're old, locked out. It sounds odd, but Lou's loyalty is hurting him.
Just wanted to get the game log here so I get the official for Duclair because he had 2 shots and played 12 minutes, but really didn't do a whole lot else for the Islanders. So, yeah, was he bad? Looks like it. 2 shots, a block, a hit, a giveaway. The exact quote was he was god-awful.
Yeah, and like shots aren't going to tell you the game. Like,
yeah.
Did he have a lot of turnovers? Was he not back checking? Was it a drive-by fruiting, if we want to call it that, by the coach? But the fact that somebody asked him about the player would tell me that obviously the player did something or did nothing to generate the question. Because if a player has like a non-impactful game and he's not a star, you don't say, hey, you know what? What'd you think of this guy's play if it's non-eventful player? So usually when you ask about the players' play, it's because you're kind of like, well, this guy did a whole bunch of nothing tonight.
Yeah, and it's kind of weird too because they said they had a good conversation, and then Duclair takes time away from the team. Weird with the whole thing. Final question for you today: comedian Eddie Murphy celebrates his 64th birthday today. So with that, who are your top 3 stand-up comedians of all time?
Jerry Seinfeld for sure. I'm gonna go. I like Bill Burr right now, so I'm definitely going Bill Burr, and like because everything's a different time in your life. But Eddie Murphy Raw, Eddie Murphy Delirious are still 2 of the most memorable stand-up acts of my time. So I'll go with those 3.
Good picks. Yeah, I gotta have Dave Chappelle up there. I think he's absolutely hilarious.
He's pretty good.
Bill Burr for sure. I mean, some of his timeless rants. He's good on almost any platform. He's pretty funny. And Eddie Murphy, you're right. Like Raw and Delirious, those are the stand-ups that I think probably introduced me to stand-up comedy, where I had to pause it because I felt like I was going to get sick from laughing too much. So Raw and Delirious are 2 of the best you can watch. If you haven't seen them, you got to go watch.
Yeah, Robin Williams is good. You know who else? And because I've watched a few, Joan Rivers. My goodness, she is funny. Like she has some unbelievable insult humor. Like she is very witty. She'd be self-deprecating. I went back and obviously she's no longer with us, but I went back and I got introduced to some of her tapes and watched them online. I'm like, oh my goodness, like she was really good. Like obviously a little bit before my time, but she was damn funny. And to be a female in that area, pretty challenging at times. And she gave no bleeps. So she would be, I would give her an honorary mention.
George Carlin too.
Oh yeah. You know what? I've seen a few of his, but not enough. Like I've never watched a whole set.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I could say like a whole show of his. I've seen clips of like some of his most famous clips.
Yeah,
for sure.
He's had some good ones.
Yeah, definitely. Lots of people are going with Nate Bargatze. They like him a lot. Jim Gaffigan. Or Gaffigan, sorry.
Yeah.
Gaffigan.
Although Anthony Jeselnik, I know Declan's a big fan of him as well.
Who?
Anthony Jeselnik.
Oh, yeah.
A very dry delivery.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Hey, boys, you ever seen Billy Connolly? Unreal from 10-10-Ken. It's a great handle, by the way. Hey, guys, Andrew Schultz right now is pretty good. I just watched his, actually. He's pretty funny. What I found interesting as he was doing it, he kept I'm like, why are you spinning your mustache? What's going on here? I don't know if it's just like a thing he does, but it was quite funny. But yeah, he was pretty good. I've really gotten into stand-up comedy lately. And I was looking like Bill Burr is on his tour right now, but he only does 2 shows in Canada. And one's in Toronto, one's in Quebec. That's it. So disappointing. And he's not even he's doing like one. He does a ton in Europe for this tour. Not doing even I looked, there's a few days in New York, and then he's doing like one in LA. So he's not doing a lot of stops in North America. So it's unfortunate, but hey, I get it. Hey guys, Don Rickles, unreal. I've seen some of his stuff. Guys, Jim Jeffries, one of my faves. Yeah, I saw Jim. He was okay. I didn't love him when I saw him. And remember when he came to? I thought he was okay. Wasn't great. But that's one show. Like, hey, you know what? Not every show is going to be your best. Just not every game is going to be your best. I've seen other shows I thought were good. Greg's, what about Chris Rock? Chris Rock can be pretty funny. Yeah, there's lots of different guys. There's lots of guys and gals that are pretty funny. So a good stand. You know what? Sometimes you just go to the local club, man, on a Saturday night to comic strip. You can have some really funny comedians. They're not big names per se, but they're damn good. That's a skill, man. I think that's an unreal skill set to have. To just be that quick and that witty, and then when they engage with the crowd, I think they're pretty good. Let's get to the con man and a sports 1440 update brought to you by your Alberta GMC dealers. Truck month is on now at GMC. You can get 0% financing for up to 72 months on a 2025 Sierra 1500 Crew Cab Pro Graphite. See more at gmccanada.ca.
Sports 1440 in West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin. CKJR is a Stingray radio station.
Download the free radio player app and listen wherever you go. This is a Sports 1440 update.
It's game day. The Edmonton Oilers down in San Jose, set to take on the Sharks. Puck drop 8:30. Our pregame coverage with Andrew Walker and Donovan Paulson gets going at 7:30 right here on Sports 1440. You also got the Golden Knights and Jets. Ducks in Calgary, Utah hosting the Kings. The Preds meet the Stars. Blues up against the Penguins. Avs in Columbus. Sens taking on the Lightning. And the Canadians hosting the Boston Bruins. Major League Baseball today. 3 finals for you. Red Sox got past the Orioles 8-4. It was the Phillies with the Rockies 3-1, and the Twins fall at home to the Astros 5-2. Getting going shortly, you got the Yankees taking on the Diamondbacks, and at 5:40, the Reds in Milwaukee. Major League Baseball. Raptors will host the Trailblazers. That gets going at 5:30. Also, Wizards host the Magic. The Bucks in Philly. Nets take on the Timberwolves, Grizz, and Heat. And the Lakers hosting the Golden State Warriors. In the WHL, 1 game tonight. Vancouver Giants in Spokane taking on the Chiefs. Spokane leads that series 2-1. Puck drop just after 8 o'clock Mountain Time. And Arizona Cardinals making Pro Bowl tight end Trey McBride the highest paid tight end in NFL history with a 4-year deal worth $76 million, 43 of which is guaranteed. Coming up in hour 4 of the Jason Gregor Show, we'll be joined by Mark Spector of Rogers Sportsnet and head coach of the Edmonton Oil Kings, Luke Pierce. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Tire. Our focus is taking care of your vehicle. Your focus? Saving up to 25% off select tires. Plus, getting up to a $120 mail-in rebate on a set of 4 select tires until April 26th. So we both win. Fountain Tire. We're on this road together.
The job isn't done until the last load is hauled, and having a semi-trailer out of commission is not an option. Whether replacing or adding to your convoy, Edmonton Trailer has a huge inventory of new and used semi-trailers, trusted by the gravel, logging, oil field, fluids, and freight industries. Find a trailer right for you online or at one of their 3 locations. For sales, service, parts, rental, and finance, when you're in it for the long haul, Edmonton Trailer.
Adventure just doesn't stumble into your life. It roars to life with Riverside Motorsports. Tearing up trails or cruising the open road. Yamaha ATVs, side-by-sides, motorcycles, and dirt bikes deliver the performance you crave. Built for thrills, ready for your next adventure. Yamaha's legendary performance and reliability take you there. Make Mother Nature your playground on a Yamaha from Riverside Motorsports. Located on St. Albert Trail. RideRiverside.com. Riverside Motorsports. What you do for fun is our business.
Find the perfect tractor for any job at Edmonton Kubota. Their massive selection of compact tractors has something for everyone, whether you're tackling small tasks or big projects. And right now, take advantage of 0% financing for up to 72 months. It's never been easier to get the power and reliability you need. Come down to Edmonton Kubota today and drive away with a tractor that's just right for you. Edmonton Kubota, where your perfect tractor awaits.
Explore beyond the boundaries of capability and value during Truck Month at GMC. Right now, get 0% financing for up to 72 months on the 2025 Sierra 1500 Crew Cab Pro Graphite. With a TurboMax engine delivering 310 horsepower, GMC Pro safety features including automatic emergency braking, plus a max towing of up to 9,500 pounds. You'll be ready for anything this Truck Month. Ask your GMC dealer for details.
This is going to make you hungry. Booster Juice just dropped new guacamole and black bean grilled fresh options.
What the guac?
Yeah, a guacamole black bean wrap, guacamole chicken panini, and an egg and chipotle black bean wrap.
What a trio! Holy guacamole!
Bye-bye, boring as bread sandwiches.
Guac, yeah! New flavors, new cravings.
Avocado up to wraps and paninis from Booster Juice. Canadian-born blending since 1999. Download the Booster Rewards app and order one today.
Explore Internet just got 10 times faster. 5G Ultra brings incredible speeds to homes in rural and small town Canada. Upgrade today at xplore.ca.
At Fountain Tire, our focus is taking care of your vehicle. Your focus? Saving up to 25% off select tires. Plus, getting up to a $120 mail-in rebate on a set of 4 select tires until April 26th. So we both win. Fountain Tire. We're on this road together.
Charging down the baseline for home plate or gliding down a lakeside park trail on 2 wheels. Spring's the time to save at St. Albert's Source for Sports. You'll find everything baseball, from cleats and bats to gloves and much more. And you'll get incredible spring savings on bikes from Specialized, plus a great selection of e-bikes, along with advice and full service from the pros. St. Albert's source for sports, your source for baseball, bikes, and a whole lot more for over 35 years.
Farm, ranch, acreage, or lake lot. They're here to help at Bashaw Concrete Products. Family owned and operated for 60 years. They continue to provide the best products and service, period. Call now for your free quote on the highest quality ready mix and gravel, a new septic tank, or an outhouse pad and tank, plus precast cattle water pads, garage sumps, and more. Call 780-372-3854 for prompt delivery. Bashaw Concrete Products, 780-372-3854. BashawConcrete.com.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Japa Machinery. Japa is digging deep on their 50-year history of supporting Alberta's construction industry with their line of special edition blackout excavators. Visit japamachinery.com for all the details.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Just after 5 o'clock. How are you? You made it through another work day, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you have an awesome day as you make your way home. Maybe special dinner plans. A little nap before the game. 8:40-ish puck drop tonight for the Oilers. No lineup changes from Tuesday's big win in Vegas. Oilers take care of business tonight, and then they got a huge game against the LA Kings, and that is a matinee game, 2 o'clock start on Saturday. So keep that in mind. We'll have the pregame show coming up later tonight. Walker and Paulson. What time is? They're not going 2.5 hours.
7:30.
7:30. Okay.
Hour before puck drop.
Yeah, there you go. So, like, I know they'll go the 2 hours when it's 8, but yeah, you want to do a 2.5 hour pregame show. Come on. No mas. Like, what else? Hey, the Sharks, they got a lot of good young players. Oilers fans are like, okay. You live through that, and you know that while the excitement about the young players doesn't always match the return of the young players, if you know what I mean. So we'll see. Gregor Show is always presented by PlayAlberta.ca. Use the promo code Gregor50, Gregor50, and you get a free $50 play. It's a new month. Get a new $50 at PlayAlberta.ca. As it's time now for the Spec Report, brought to you by GS Construction, your underground infrastructure specialists. Easy as running water to making that freeway run smooth. That's what they do at GS Construction. Mark Spector from Rogers Sportsnet joins us from San Jose. And Spec, no lineup changes for the Oilers tonight. And did Knoblauch go in at all to why he wanted to go with Pickard?
I think, I don't know how I would say it. I kind of talked to him off the record about it. And as a journalist, I was like, if you're going to play this guy, I wouldn't mind a heads up. I'll put a story together on Olivier Rodrigue. And basically, and I don't think I'm breaking any confidentiality, what he intimated to me was, if Pickard is strong and playing well and looking good, they're not going away from him. They're going to stick with him. If he tires, if he came out tonight and wasn't very good, then they'll go from there. But my feeling after talking to Chris was they were not scheduling a start in Anaheim or San Jose. They're going to play it by ear. And I think when your backup carries the ball as well as Pickard's carrying it, I think you ought to let him keep carrying it, don't you?
Yeah, there's something to that. I think that's fair. Right?
Games are still meaningful.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Very meaningful for sure. So, and I'm sure you're Calvin Pickard. You're like, man, I've been waiting for this for a long time. So give me the opportunity. And it's hard to argue with that. I can see why it says, hey, you know what? This guy, all he's done is has played well when we need him to play well. So kind of hard to argue against that, right?
Yeah, I think he's going to win. His next win will be his first 20-win season in his career, right?
Oh, okay, that's pretty good.
That's pretty good. Guy slugged it out a long time, dude. He was drafted in 2010, right, by Colorado. That was the Taylor Hall draft. That's I don't remember us talking much about Calvin Pickard that June day when the Oilers were picking Taylor Hall. But you know what? Give the guy credit. He's forged a pretty good career as being a small goalie.
Well, you know what's interesting, Spec? You know how many goalies in the NHL have 20 wins this season?
How many?
27. So Pickard would be the 28th. So that'd be him and Skinner, two goalies on the same team, each with 20 wins. And I got to look to see if there is another team. And
that's two guys?
Yeah, Toronto might. Toronto would be my guess as one, but
they're splitting up pretty good.
Yeah, I don't see it. Joe Wall has 25, but Stolarz has only got 17 because he hasn't played enough games yet. So he's kind of taken over that role, so he might get there. But it's not many backups. Charlie Lindgren might get there. He's got 17, but there's not many backups that are going to get 20 wins. So. You know what?
I mean, how many games? These games are darn important for the Rangers. How many games is Charlie Lindgren going to get? Right?
No, Lindgren's in Washington.
Oh, Washington. Sorry, Washington. Excuse me. I'm thinking of his brother. His brother's in New York. But the games. Maybe Washington's a good place because the games don't matter so much. But certainly, all the Toronto Maple Leafs, they got a 2-goalie system. But I think Edmonton's the prime example. The games mean a ton. It's not sadly for young Olivier Rodrigue, who he slugged it out himself. It'd be sure a great story to see him get a start. We're not in the business of giving starts to rookies here. It's about 2 points every night.
Yeah. And so, maybe the Anaheim game, I could see it maybe, but, hey, maybe they want to run Pickard and just get him into a stretch of it to see. Now, good news. I know Knobloch when he spoke this morning, but I had someone tell me that, later today that Skinner did actually skate. So he's been on the ice. So that's a good sign. And
that's a really good sign.
Yeah. But how, now I didn't get any sense of how much, was he on the ice? I think it was just kind of like a preliminary twirl, but the fact he's even on the ice is a good sign. But, when you're talking a head injury or who knows if it's head or neck, like anytime I think of a concussion, I still think of Crosby and how they misdiagnosed it for so long. Not every concussion necessarily means it's his head. It might be, you got like super tense neck muscles and everything. And so for a goalie, like your mobility in your neck and your rotation is massive. So, we'll see where they're at with Skinner, but just the fact that he's skating is obviously a good sign. It's not severe enough that he's holed up in a room with no lights on, which has been the case for some guys.
I was just going to say, the fact that he's out facing pucks, obviously turning his head, in a big, bright, well-lit arena, you're halfway there.
Yeah.
There's guys that sit in the dark for a long time. I said to you a few times on the show, Jay, I don't trust concussions. I don't trust those neck injuries. Sometimes it's whiplash that gives you the concussion as much as anything else. This is not a groin injury here. So the fact that he's out in a rink stopping pucks, that kind of sort of eliminates a lot of the worst case scenario in my head anyway.
Yeah. Yeah. So the fact is it's step one. There's obviously a few more steps to go. He's not going to join on the road trip. Obviously, neither is Ekholm. Ekholm is back skating too, from what I've been told. So that's a good sign. And I think in Ekholm's case, it's one where they just get him rest. Knobloch was pretty upfront about that when he said, hey, this is not an injury that's going to linger. He just needs time and rest. So you know what, when he gets back. Now, Trent Frederick, maybe in Anaheim spec, we'll see. I think there'll be a lot of excitement to see him in. If he doesn't get in Anaheim, then there's only 5 games left after that. And I would think if they're saying maybe Anaheim, then he's got a good chance. St. Louis. You had a chance to talk to McDavid at all? I know it's a groin injury, but he's on the trip, which is a good sign, but they're obviously being ultra cautious with him.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I'm standing there at after Oilers practice today. Trent Frederick and Connor McDavid and Glenn Gulletson was running them through a practice, and Olivier Rodrigue was the goalie. So they're the only 2 guys out at the end, and they were going really hard. I was standing with Owen Nolan, And he said, man, what's McDavid's injury? Is he coming back right away? I go, I don't know. He's got a groin. I'm not sure when he's coming back. He says, groin. He says, I never skated that fast when I was healthy. So they skated a ton today, and hard and fast and tight turns. So I don't know what's going on with McDavid. He's not actually, and I'm working the case here, Jay. I'm not getting the Connor McDavid interview that I want to get. Being on the road out here, and I'm a little sour about it, I'll be honest with you. But I can't imagine how he could have some kind of a groin or abdominal or some kind of soft tissue thing and then skate as hard as he skated this morning and not be ready to play for any length of time. I don't get it. So we may not have the right injury. I'm not sure what's going on here, but you can't practice any harder than he practiced today, man. It was unbelievable.
Now, was he doing all the contract drills though?
Well, not contact, no, because there's just him. But they were battling for pucks a little bit. Like they weren't completely non-contact either. So yes, contact would be the next thing.
Well, keep in mind though, like with a groin, it can be good spec, but all it takes is one. Like Grant Fedoruk, and he's going to join us next week on the show. He's talked a lot about groin injuries, and then there's different types depending on where it's at. That it can look good. Doesn't mean it feels good, if that makes any sense. So those are his words.
Yeah, I've been around the game long enough to have seen this many, many times where you look at practice, you go, man, that guy looks ready, and he doesn't play for 2 weeks. So I get it. There's a reason for it, but that's where McDavid's at right now. Like he was doing tight turns and looking great today.
Well, you know what, Spec? That's a good sign for the Oilers. You got, and McDavid gets a little bit rested because I think something that maybe gets overlooked a little bit in the playoffs last year, and Draisaitl mentioned it yesterday. And like he was pretty banged up in the playoffs last year. That's and he was banged up in 22 as well. And that they wouldn't have won in 22. But had Draisaitl been healthier than he was, maybe in that final, does he score you a big goal in Game 7? Maybe we'll never know. But like it's such a it's the most unpredictable and I'm sure infuriating for a manager. You build a good team, everything's good, and then look at Florida the year before. Matthew Tkachuk, like he was non-existent in the Cup final, couldn't even skate, right? So you get some key guys hurt, and sometimes even if they're playing, but they're not close to what they can play at, and that's the ultimate one. So if the Oilers are getting rest for Ekholm and all of these guys, that might be the one thing that helps them win an extra series later on.
Oh, there's no question. I mean, you might walk the line a little bit of, gee, we could have finished in second instead of third, or gee, our guys could have been a little bit more ready for the first round, and LA's ready to go, and all those things. But I'm with you, buddy. If I'm an Oilers fan and as an observer of the Oilers, I don't care. Like if they don't win the Cup, okay, I don't care if they go out in the first round, the second round, the third round. Who cares? To me, there's one thing here. It's the Cup. And that's all that matters. Don't talk to me about, they couldn't win the first round, but if they did, they might have won the Cup. I don't want to hear any of that stuff, man. Yeah. It's Cup or bust. I know they said it last year, but that's what it is around here. And they're taking an approach to rest their best guys. Remember the Florida series, Jason. You do remember this. In games 1 to 3 that the Oilers lost all 3 of, Connor McDavid was the only Oiler with more than 1 point. Right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. They took so long to find their legs in that series, they never did recover from it.
Yeah. No, it's totally fair. Mark Spector joins us. Spec, the San Jose Sharks, you can close your eyes and think back to 2012 because that's basically where they're at, where the Oilers were in their rebuild. Many years out, but you hadn't really committed to the rebuild until recently, and that's where the Sharks are at. And you look at their defense core. You got guys in the first pair that are second and third pair defenders and guys in your second pair that might not even be NHL defenders. And, they just don't have a lot of talent. They've only won 20 games this year. They have beaten 9 playoff teams though. So you know what? You can't just show up. You got to play well, but man, you look at that Sharks team, they got a long way to go.
Yeah. It's the old story, Jay. Any dummy can start a rebuild. It's easy to start a rebuild, right? Trying to end the rebuild. That's the rub. And that's where Mike Greer's at right now. I was talking to Ty Emberson this morning. I said, how many guys left on this Sharks team that you played with? He says, maybe 5.
Yeah. And that was last year.
And that was last year. So, they're they're deep in this thing. I mean, I like some of their guys. Like, obviously, I love Celebrini. I don't like their defense much. I think I was talking to Drew Remenda this morning, and I asked him, is Askarov the goalie? He goes, Askarov is the goalie. He's the real thing. I think he's the real thing. He's been a little bit hurt, so he's not playing, but they got the goalie, let's say. They got a couple guys around, in their forward ranks that are going to be good players, but there's a lot of holes to plug here, man. And it's got to start on D on this team, I would say, DJ. They got to start to put some defensemen together here, and younger, good guys. Vlasic's really old. And who's their best defenseman on tonight's lineup? Is it Mario Ferrero? I mean, I don't even know who it is.
Oh, yeah. No, their best defenseman would be Ferraro for sure.
Yeah. And he's a nice player. Don't get me wrong.
He's a good player, but
he's kept your best guy.
No. They're asking him to play too much, right? And it's not his fault. That's just
not
how it is.
His fault.
Yeah.
And
So
Vlasic is, oh gosh, he's got to be pushing 40, Vlasic. So there's a lot to do, and a lot, like, you got to flip the switch from accruing draft picks and prospects to flipping those draft picks and prospects to good players. And it's hard to be a free agent. It's hard to play the free agent market when you're Mike Grier, because free agents want to win. Free agents don't want to jump into a rebuild. So he's at the hard part here. He's dug the big hole. Now he's got to start filling it back in. It ain't easy.
Oh, God, no, not easy at all. Like, I look at Wallman tonight, and you're kind of like, man, like, they gave up for a first round, and there might be a late round pick, and that's great. You got to hit on it, but like, this is a proven NHL player, and I find the biggest mistake a lot of these rebuilding teams do is they trade away proven guys, and then you're searching for that guy for the next 4 years, and they do that multiple times, and it just spreads out the rebuild.
The only thing I'll say to you is, Mike Grier is a pretty smart guy. If he went to Wallman and Wallman's agent and said, "Hey, we'd like to sign you this summer," is he up? No, he's up next summer. We'd like to sign you next summer. What do you think? And they said probably not. Then I get trading him. Personally, I'd have hung on to him for another 12 months and trade him in next year's deadline, because I agree with you. You need some guys here so that can play. But that's one reason maybe a guy like Wallman says, "Hey, this thing's going to outlast my career. I can't spend another 5 years in this town."
Yeah, no, that's probably valid, but you never know. Sometimes money talks, and when you're a team that's not up against a cap, you know what? For a guy like that who never made a big payday, you keep him there, and you say, "Hey, man, we're gonna give you $6 million a year." Well, maybe I'll stick around. So there is that factor a little bit. Looking at the order spec and how they played in that Vegas game, I thought it was pretty as good. I've looked at Arvidsson, 4 goals in the last 8 games now. His last 6 games, he's playing over 15 minutes a night. It's the first time he's done that 6 in a row since October, early November, since November 2nd was the last one. So clearly the coach is starting to see more, and he's rewarding him because of it.
Yeah, he's getting some ice time. He's playing next to Draisaitl, and say what you want about Arvidsson, and I've said it all year that, and you agree with me, I know they wanted more. They expected more. They wanted more.
Yeah.
He has played next to Leon Draisaitl all season long, and Leon Draisaitl is having one of the best years of his life. And, you got to say the same thing about Podkolzin. Somehow, right? Somehow, next to a couple guys that haven't produced much, Draisaitl has produced better than almost any guy in the world. So, there should be a little credit for those 2 wingers. I get that. But here we are. Like, no one... In the end, if Arvidsson's playing a game that you really like, and in the playoffs he's the guy we thought you were going to get and all those things, is anyone ever going to remember how Arvidsson played from October to, Feb 15th? I'm not, right? If he plays great from Feb 15th to the end, that's the part we're going to remember here.
Yeah, no, that's fair. And Edmonton's at that place where a lot of guys can, like, Arvidsson's regular season's never going to look good, but the fact that he's playing well now, it could salvage it. It's kind of like Connor Brown. Now, the difference is Connor Brown's making $1 million next season, where Arvidsson's still going to make 4. So he's going to have to be better next year in the regular season, but he can salvage his year by showing up here in the next 2 months if they go that deep.
Yeah, my only concern is there's a few of those guys. Like,
yes,
McDavid's got to come back from injury and find his level. Ekholm's got to come back from injury, find his level. Stu Skinner's got another level he's got to find, or they're not going to win. There's about 6 guys here, right, that have to play better. And, I'm not saying they can't, but when you got a whole bunch of guys, it's not very often that they all do it, right? Some of them do, but usually some of them don't. So, I'll stay on the optimistic side. I can't see Ekholm not finding his game. Like, he's such a good player. Obviously, McDavid's going to find his game.
McDavid, if there was one guy that I have zero concern about, it's him.
Yeah, I agree. So, let's see what happens here. But they do. They got guys. The good news is they're rested. The bad news is they got to take a step when they get back in the lineup.
Spec, enjoy the game. Get a nap. You got a lot of time. And we'll chat with you tomorrow.
Oh, man, there is a lot. This game doesn't start till 8:30 Edmonton time?
Yeah, 7:40 your time. And what is it, 4:20 there? Yeah, you got like 3 hours in a bit, Spec. 3.5 hours.
and 20 minutes. Yeah. Oh, my gosh.
Why don't you do us a favor? Yeah. Why don't you go hit up the bar before you write? And then we'll see how it goes.
I got time to get drunk, have a nap, sober up, and be there for puck drop.
It's true.
All right, I better get going then. See ya.
Get on it. There you go. It's Mark Spec with the Spec Report, brought to you by GS Construction. Like, it is a long start, man. 8:30. Are you joking? Come on now. 5:23. When we come back, playoffs, baby. One win away from the next round. We'll discuss it on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
I'm tired of waking up tired. Are you tired of waking up tired? Come visit our sleep experts at the Brick Mattress Store. Get Canada's guaranteed lowest prices on all things sleep. Plus, try your new mattress for 6 months. If you don't love it, we'll find one you do. Some conditions apply. Stop waking up tired. Get the right mattress, guaranteed. Only at the Brick Mattress Store.
Whether you're a craft beer connoisseur or more of a wine aficionado, there's always something new to discover at Sherbrooke Liquor, a unique family-owned independent liquor store. The selection, incredible. The non-alcohol section is also very impressive. Sherbrooke Liquor, expert, knowledgeable staff with a passion for unique finds. More than just a liquor store, we're a community. Alberta's best, the one and only Sherbrooke Liquor. Wine, spirits, and oodles of beer. Visit SherbrookeLiquor.com.
The 2025 Ram 1500 Motor Trends Truck of the Year in St. Albert Dodge is knocking 10% off the price. That's right, 10% off every single Ram 1500 they have in stock, and over 100 are available. These are the 2025's new interior and drivetrain options with increased horsepower and better fuel economy. Other dealers save their best deals for last year's model. At St. Albert Dodge, they're taking 10% off the newest, hottest truck on the lot. That's how easy it is to do business at St. Albert Dodge.
Don't settle for being on the rate of last resort if you don't have to be. Check your most recent electricity bill. If it says the words rate of last resort on it, then there are likely better options available for you. In fact, you could save hundreds of dollars per year by switching plans. Check your bill, then go to ucahelps.ca to explore your options. You will likely find a better rate and could have hundreds more in your pocket by the end of the year. A message from the Government of Alberta.
A Tim's Donut and Coffee is the original collab. And now, any classic donut is $1 when you buy any size original or dark roast coffee. Get a deal on the iconic duo with a Tim's dollar donut. Plus tax at participating restaurants for limited time. Terms apply. See app for details.
For Tim's.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Papa John's. The pizza makers at Papa John's are making you 2 more items for $9.99 each from their Papa Pairings menu, like medium one-topping pizzas, boneless wings, cheese sticks, and more. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's.
Tricks, touchdowns, and home runs. Get it all with the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
$5.26. Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Sports 1440, Oilers Nation, YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. Also, sports1440.ca. You can get on the app at Radio Player, Stingray, iHeartRadio. So thanks for watching, listening to the show. Some of you aren't even listening to it live because you got life, but you take time out later to listen to the podcast. So thank you very, very much. Gregor Show is always presented by PlayAlberta.ca. Get in the game, use the promo code Gregor50. And you know what's your one-stop shop for everything? You like lotteries? You want to go to the Daily Grand that they have on Thursdays, maybe casino, instance, live dealer, lottery, and the games. One-stop shop at PlayAlberta.ca. A lot of text flying in. Hey, boys, I think they should keep 97 out until after LA. I'm worried the dirty players will go out and try to injure our top guys before the playoffs. No one were playing them. What do you think? From Mark. Nah. Well, he's not playing this weekend anyway. So you're talking like the second last game of the year. If McDavid's healthy, they're not going to be like, oh, we're not going to play Connor in the second last game because the Kings might be dirty on him. Like, they're not going to worry about that. Connor McDavid has said it many times. He needs to play. He plays better when he gets into a rhythm. Once Connor McDavid gets the green light from the doctors, he'll be in. So, sometime next week, whether it's a St. Louis game, maybe it's the San Jose game the following Friday. Then they got the Jets. I don't know, but I don't think they would wait until the last game of the season unless they have to. If he's that injured, then he's that injured. But if he's healthy, I don't think they will say that it is. So, or sorry, sit him out. You can't be scared of it. Like LA doesn't if they had a reputation of really going after and cheap shotting guys. Like now, Oiler fans might view it as a cheap shot, right? Sure. Mikey Anderson on Draisaitl, but was that pre-planned or was it in the heat of the moment? Right? I would say probably heat of the moment. That's how I would look at it. Now, let's get to our big guest of the day, brought to you by the Spruce Grove Saints. Once again, the Saints just want to say a big thank you to everyone who supported their team this year, from fans, came to the games, sponsors, everybody else. They look forward to having you back next year in the brand new arena in Spruce Grove. That's the Saints. And we talk a little playoff hockey with the head coach of the Edmonton Oil Kings. They are one win away from moving on to the second round. A big 3-2 victory last night against the Prince Albert Raiders. Luke Pierce joins us. And Luke, it's playoff hockey. It's exciting. You know what? Your team is now up 3-1. You had a good first game, kind of lost a little bit in the second game, but then it bounced back and then won both games at home. What impressed you most about your team and your two home wins?
I think just probably the consistency, actually, and not just here at home, but the whole series. I thought maybe game 4 might not have been our best, but for the most part, I feel like the guys have been they've been real consistent and sticking with it. Obviously, challenging goaltender here to score on, but found a way.
Well, I was just like, that's their key thing, and you found a way, to score on them. And now scoring on them by limiting them to score at the same time, right? Like every game you've won, you've only scored 3 goals. So you haven't lit them up, but you haven't given up very much at the same time.
Yeah, I know that's a great point. I thought that, especially last night, it wasn't our best, offensive effort from, chance creation, but we really didn't give up much. And when we did, Ethan Simcoe was there for us. And, but yeah, I think our defensive game has been really solid, and you're going to have to, like you said, win close ones here, and you probably not going to get more than 3 on them very many nights. So making sure we're paying attention to the details away from the puck has been real good so far.
Hodnett's leading you. He's got 7 points in 4 games. Sachin brothers are next with 6, and really Grayson and Gavin. So you kind of got those 2 guys, and in the playoffs, I don't care what the team is, what the league is. Usually you're going to go as far as your best players take you. You need a few guys to chip in everywhere, and then and you got a goal from Finney and Hansen, which is always nice, and even and McKenzie on the back end, which is great. But ultimately, you're going to go as far as your best players, and your best players have been your best guys most times this series.
Yeah, that's a great point. I think it's Gavin's led us from game 1. I thought might have been one of his best games of the year, and Sachin's have been really steady for us all year as well. But Adam Yako, I think too, has been a guy that's really stepped up this series, and maybe doesn't have the same point totals, but he's certainly been extremely effective on both ends of it. So but Gavin, I think as our leader, we've relied on him a lot, and he's certainly been an inspiring player here in this round.
Your goaltending, 4 games, and you're splitting it. I love it. Worthington's played twice. Simcoe's played twice. Was your plan to split it? Do you have an idea who's starting tomorrow?
Yeah, we had a pretty good idea that at some point we would use both, and I think you always take it a game at a time. And we thought if Alex started and didn't get a lot of work, we could ride him a bit, but we were prepared, win or lose. If we felt that he was overworked at all, we could go to Ethan, and it's worked out well for us. And those two have been outstanding all year. And I think, with the travel and all the different things that between these two cities, it's been good for us to have that luxury of using both guys.
So, do you know who you're starting tomorrow?
I do, yeah. Probably stick with Ethan right now.
Okay.
And we'll. I think he's been really comfortable in that arena, as is a unique environment. So,
buddy,
for him, it's a good one.
Well, that, what? It's funny when people talk, it's intimidating sometimes. I'm not sure it's intimidating. I think it's a great experience for young players, and you got a lot of young guys, to be in an experience like that in PA. It's a small barn. They sell it out. They got people standing on milk crates in the standing room only because it's a few rows deep. Some bring in ladders. It's unreal. But, for your players, you want them to experience that, to kind of see how they handle it.
Yeah, Kurt and I talked about this once we knew that this was going to be the opponent, and just said how you couldn't ask for a better setting for our guys to get started on this journey. And like you said, a little bit of an inexperienced group. So there's nothing like getting thrown into this environment to learn what playoff hockey is all about. And so far our guys have risen to the challenge, and it'll certainly make us better in the long run, regardless of the overall outcome here.
Now, late in that game, the PA player fired a slap shot. Any recourse from that as far as injury for your guys? Okay.
Yeah, Josh will be okay there. I think it was more the cross check that got him than anything. And
okay.
It's been a bit of a theme here this series. I think trying to drag us into some stuff, a little bit of the extracurriculars, and I think our guys have done a good job of trying to avoid it as much as possible and stay as healthy as we can. But I think we continue to play with the pace that we've had and using our depth and our speed. I think they're really relying on trying to slow us down that way. And if we can avoid that as much as possible, I think we give ourselves a good chance here.
Head coach of the Edmonton Oil Kings, Luke Pierce, joins us. Now, Luke, you're obviously focused 100% on this series. You guys got your scouts out scouting your next round now that you're up 3-1. Is that how it works, or were they scouting even before?
Yeah, I mean, we've got a pretty good handle on our division throughout the course of the year, and just the database that we build up, and similar to the tools that the NHL teams use. We have the luxury of having a lot of scouting stuff, so it gives us the benefit of just really being able to dig into the job at hand here with Game 5, and we'll worry about that stuff later if we're lucky enough to get there. And but we do have a lot of tools, a lot of people, and some great resources here as a luxury of this organization to be prepared for that. Yeah.
I want to tell you, we talked a little bit about it, but just, your goaltenders played well, but outside of Game 2, and I'm not even sure it was that bad, but you've really clamped down defensively. What have you liked from your 6 defensemen in this series thus far?
I think just their commitment to, trying to end plays as early as we can. And, I think they're not maybe the most physical guys, especially losing a Reese Peterson early in the series. And
yeah,
but Noah Tamu, 16-year-old big kid, has stepped in and he's played mature beyond his years. And I just think that the battle level and their commitment to play the structured game through the neutral zone has been excellent. And a lot of that too, though, is the tracking and the work from our forwards to get above and outnumber guys has allowed those D's to stay as aggressive as they have been, and really prevented a lot of extended sequences in our D zone as well, with just winning the puck races and things like that. So it's been a group effort, but those 60 have been outstanding for sure.
What's the status for Peterson? Will he be back? Like if you win, can he be back next series?
Yeah, we're hopeful. I mean, we've tried some different things here with them, and we're actually going to see him on the ice in the morning here for morning skate, and then just kind of take it day by day from there. But he's a tough kid. I mean, they don't make him much tougher than that. So I would expect that we'll see him sooner than later.
Well, Luke, have a safe trip to PA. And best of luck tomorrow night. It'll be a rocking place in PA. And if you have to come home for Game 6 on Sunday, it's going to be a great crowd on a Sunday afternoon at 4 o'clock. So either way, best of luck this weekend.
Yeah, thanks, Jason. Appreciate you having me.
You betcha. There's Luke Pierce, head coach of the Old Kings. They take on the Raiders tomorrow. And you can watch all those games free online, too, if you want. So it's fantastic. And then, of course, if necessary, Game 6 Sunday at 4 p.m., which should have a real good crowd come to that game. And an opportunity to clinch at home. Excitement. I love playoff hockey, man. Like everything's just more intense. It's my son was already asking, hey, can we go? So I'm like, hey, if there's a Game 6, I think we'll be going. So it should be a lot of fun. Very much looking forward to that. We'll come back for a quick wrap up. We'll get to the lineup report and more on the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Play Alberta has hundreds of casino games right at your fingertip. Join thousands discovering why Fortune Coin is one of Alberta's most popular games. Fill your reels with golden coins, multiply your prizes up to 6 times, and turn good spins into legendary ones. Land the Fortune Coin symbol to win cash, trigger the jackpot, launch the free spins bonus, and watch as the dragon takes over your screen. New players get 100 free spins only on playalberta.ca. Claim your offer today.
Get ready to revolutionize your job site with Edmonton Kubota's game-changing compact construction equipment. From mini excavators and skid steers to track loaders, carriers, and utility vehicles, they have a model to fit every need, all powered by legendary Kubota diesel engines. These machines are built for performance and reliability. Transform your work with Edmonton Kubota's top-of-the-line compact equipment. Visit them today and see why they're the name you can trust for power and precision.
At McDonald's, there are new breakfast sandwiches with a secret ingredient.
A secret ingredient?
It's a little sweet, born in the cold, cradled by spring.
Gotcha. It's maple.
Well, yes, but let me finish. It's made
with 100% Canadian maple syrup?
Right again. It's a brand new smoky maple sauce featured in...
Oh, some new McD's breakfast sandwiches.
And you can try it
before 11 a.m. only.
Wow, you're good at this.
I know what I like. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
For a limited time at participating McDonald's restaurants in Canada.
RV Wars hits the north side, April 3rd to 6th. Go RV, Vision RV, and Arcan RV have joined forces for RV Wars. Take advantage of pre-tariff pricing on travel trailers, fifth wheels, motorhomes, and more. The last of the 2024 models are being cleared out. Make no payments for 6 months OAC. Now is the time to buy with special discounted finance rates. Free admission with a donation to the food bank. RV Wars this weekend on the north side, 9603 165 Avenue. Visit rvwars.ca.
Farm, ranch, acreage, or lake lot. They're here to help at Bashaw Concrete Products. Family owned and operated for 60 years. They continue to provide the best products and service, period. Call now for your free quote on the highest quality ready mix and gravel, a new septic tank, or an outhouse pad and tank, plus precast cattle water pads, garage sumps, and more. Call 780-372-3854 for prompt delivery. Bashaw Concrete Products, 780-372-3854. BashawConcrete.com.
The Ford It's a Big Deal event is on now, and it's a great time to get a big deal on a 2025 Bronco Sport Big Bend. Visit your Alberta Ford store today.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Cantork. We offer sale, rental, repair, and calibration of hydraulic, pneumatic, and battery-powered torque wrenches, stud tensioners, and flange maintenance equipment. Order today at cantork.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Welcome back. Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Sports 1440, Orders Nation, YouTube, Facebook, and X. As always, Declan Kruger running things online. Hope you're having an awesome Thursday. You got a lot of time. Take the dog for a walk or take yourself for a walk. Do whatever you need because puck drop tonight in about 3 hours from now. The Orders on the West Coast in San Jose, one of the few teams who plays mid or weekday starts at 7:30, 7:40 local time. It's not ideal. I will tell. Imagine being a fan in the Central Time Zone. It's 9:42. It starts in the East. It's 10:42. Like, are you kidding me? I'm kind of surprised the NHL didn't say, "Hey, let's get like 7:00." I don't know. Maybe they've looked at their. Like, I don't understand it. It's not like San Jose is that major of a city that you can't get to the games in time. Like, I don't get it. I really don't. I love it. Just, like, why do they think they need to start their games regularly at that time? Because it's not for TV. I'll tell you that right now. It's definitely not for television. It doesn't make a whole boatload of sense to me for sure. Now, let's get to our lineup report brought to you by Sherwood Power Sports and Marine, home of the $50 bi-weekly ATV. Be on a boat next summer for us as low as $105 bi-weekly from Sherwood Power Sports and Marine. The Edmonton Oilers, no lineup changes from last game. Obviously, the coach liked what he saw. Well, realistically, there's only one option. They don't have any other defensemen available. Klingberg and Ekholm aren't on the road trip. So they only got 60, so they'll stay with the 60. Nurse and Stetcher, Wallman and Bouchard, and then Emberson and Kulak. Up front, they don't have any other forwards who are ready to play. Frederick, Kane, and McDavid are on the trip, but obviously none are available. So Draisaitl will stay with Podkolzin and Arvidsson. Nugent Hopkins with Kapanen and Hyman. Janmark with Skinner and Brown. Henrique with Perry and Max Jones. The only option they could have done is change in goal, but they won't. Calvin Pickard is going to get the start for the Edmonton Oilers, looking for the first time to win 20 games in the regular season for him. He would be only the 28th goalie in the league to have 20 wins, so the Oilers would have 2 of them. So you think about it, starting teams, there's 32 of those. So the Oilers goaltending, I know a lot of people get really down on it, but so came across stat today online from one of the Oilers fans who would put it out there, and well, I missed a few stars, but either way, the Oilers have had 40 games this year where their goaltenders had at least a save percentage of 900. That's tied for 8th most in the NHL. So have they had some bad games that makes it look worse? 100%. Now, the other thing is they also don't get a lot of shots. There's some games where they've allowed 3 goals, but it's only because it's 27, 28 shots, not 30. And so that factors in a little bit. But when they have some off nights, it makes it look worse. There's no question. But considering that they've had 40, which is more than Colorado and more than Carolina, more than Toronto, 1 less than LA, so they're not like LA leads the Pacific Division. Vegas doesn't even have that many from their team. Like I've always said, like, I know everybody was so, the goaltenders, you can't go anywhere without the goalies. Maybe they weren't nearly as bad as you thought. Did they have some bad games? 100%. Some bad moments? Sure. But it doesn't mean that the whole picture. Sometimes you got to dig a little bit deeper. Because if you have, like, here's the thing. If you have a bad night, and like in Columbus, for instance, like they had no chance. Remember McDavid got injured in the first shift? Game was over. They were done. It wasn't goaltending them lost that game 6-1. And there's a few goals late in the game, whatever. So the save percentage looks terrible. But it wasn't just a goalie. But that one game of 6 over the next 10, like you don't recover from it. So you have a few of those. And sure, you'd like a few games where they didn't have it. I understand it. But I think there's actually more solid games than people think when you start to crunch the numbers. Now, the Sharks offense, they got Celebrini, Smith, and Toffoli. It's like the sleepover line. Wenberg with Colin Graff and William Eklund, 2 young guys. Ty Delleandro with Cameron Lund and Grunstrom. And then you got Gregor Goodrow and Zach Ostapchuk. So 2 local guys playing with Barclay Goodrow, actually. Barclay Goodrow is the other guy who was married a girl from Edmonton. So there's an Edmonton connection on that line. You go Ferraro and Liljegren, Carlson and Jack Thompson. Henry Thrun comes back in with Mark-Edward Vlasic. And getting his 3rd NHL start in goal tonight, Georgi Romanov. His last start was Sunday, against the Los Angeles Kings, and he allowed 8 goals. So this is a goaltender that you're going to get opportunities. Then they don't even play him in the American League, which is really odd, but they're going to play him in the NHL tonight. There's him or Carrier because they got injuries to Alexander Gorgiev still hurt. Jan Ruda's hurt. Vinny Desharnais hurt. Shakira Makmadulin got injured in their last game. So now he's out. So there's 3 defensemen. Like, they're not a very good team. And now some of their guys who are better aren't even playing. Like, this should be a win for the Edmonton Oilers. And I think it should be a win fairly handily if they want. What's unique about the Sharks, they go with the 5 forwards on the power play. They got, they traded away Wallman, who was on their power play. He still leads their defense. He has 32 points, so way more than any defenseman that's currently on that roster. And the Oilers' penalty kill has been very aggressive. Do not be surprised if the Oilers score a shorty tonight, if they take a few penalties. Because 5 forwards, Edmonton, Brown, Janmark, they're pretty aggressive up high, create those turnovers, what they like to call their stacks when they stack the line. Watch for that. Because if you can get some forwards playing defense off the rush, most forwards aren't overly comfortable in that position. They don't love it. They're not used to backward skating all the time. So it's an opportunity to see if they can take advantage of it. So that's something I would be watching for tonight as you take in the game. And that's our lineup report brought to you by Sherwood Power Sports and Marine. Hey, guys, you talked about the draft changes. Do you think there's going to be more offer sheets and RFA players from Dallas the Farmer? Maybe. I know we saw it with the St. Louis Blues, right? 2 at once. But that was kind of the last end of the flat cap, right? Like, the cap's going up significantly. And Rantanen's already signed. Like, the big name free agent is what? Mitch Marner? Who else after that? Like, is John Tavares next? There's not a lot of big name guys. So teams are going to have money to spend, and they might look and say, oh, we got a young RFA. Like, you could look at Toronto, for instance, Matthew Nyes, hell of a young player. But how much would you be willing? Like, if you're going to offer him $5 million, Toronto's like, thank you. Like, they jump at that, right? That'd be an easy match. I don't even think Matthew Nyes would sign that, to be honest. I think he's looking for a bigger ticket. And because his number says he probably can get it. So it's always a good question. I think strategically you could look to say, are there any teams vulnerable? And if they are, then yes, they might go and try to go after those teams specific. I think that's fair. But, we'll see. We'll see where it goes. I'm not sure we're going to have a rash of them just because there's more teams now who have cap space. So, hey, boys, I remember living in Newfoundland, coming home from the bar at midnight and watching the playoff games in San Jose from Adam. It's true, eh? I guess, hey, come on, that'd be amazing. And that way I get it. So I like it. Not bad at all. So hey guys, from I know that's right. That's incorrect stat. 34-1-2. The Oilers have lost 3 games. Greg, I know you sent me the picture, and Oilers Daily is incorrect. It's not 34-1-2. Because you can go look. Calvin Pickard in the Montreal game had a .917 save percentage when they lost. And both losses against Vegas this year. Remember, Skinner allowed 1 goal in one and he allowed 2 in the other? He had a .965 and he's at a 9, I think it's 22 or 21. So they've had 3 losses with a .900 save percentage. So don't believe everything you see on fan sites, because, hey, no offense to them, but if when you put out stuff like that, like, you got to double, triple, quadruple check if you're going to put out those stats. So they're close, but they're not 100% accurate because they're 35-3-2, not 34-1-2. So it's a little bit different. Hey guys, how big of a blow do you think it'll be not signing Holloway? That's a great question. You'll never know, because what he does on one team, would he be a good player here? Would he be as productive as he is in St. Louis? We'll never 100% know, right? Did he feel reborn going there? Do you feel way more confident? Like, there's lots of factors that we'll never know, right? Number 1. Number 2, opportunity playing everything. But I thought at the time it would have been wise to match the offer sheet. I said it, no question. I thought they should have done it. Because even at 2.3 mil, I was like, God, if he's only a 40-point guy, you're pretty happy. But obviously, you know what? He jumped up to 60. Great. Now you got to do it year after year, which is always harder than doing it one time, right? Like look at Nugent Hopkins, 60-point guy, had 100-point year, 60-point guy, which is fine. Nothing wrong with that. But, Holloway's young. We'll see. Can he continue to improve? Be great if he did. I hope he does. He's a great kid. For Edmonton's case, it's like when you make a mistake like that, it's just don't compound it and make it worse. And now the key is, you know what? Like find someone else. Like what if they re-sign Trent Frederick and Trent Frederick signs here and ends up scoring 20, 25 goals next year? Well, then they replaced them, fairly quickly without giving up that much. I know a lot of people are all super high in LaChance, like college kids. I'm sorry. They get really hyped up in the US and that's great. But I just look at history. And for a lot of them, it's way more hype or way more sizzle than actual taste, if you know what I mean. So we'll see. Early games in the National Hockey League. Conman's going to get you the update coming up. The games that matter. Of course, the Canadians are playing the Blue Jackets. Both of those teams in a race for the final wildcard spot. Later on, the Oilers are in San Jose. We'll know a lot of the results before Winnipeg is taking on Vegas. LA is in Utah, so that game starts about an hour and a half before the Oilers. So have a sense. Who knows? If Utah does them a favor, the Oilers could move into a tie tonight with LA heading into that game tomorrow, which would just make it for great theater on Saturday, not tomorrow. On behalf of Connor Halley, Declan Kruger, I'm Jason Gregor. Have yourselves a kick-ass Thursday evening. Enjoy the games. Let's get to the Conman Sports 1440 update brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling, where the rates never change. No overtime charges, weekends, or late at night. That's how you build a legacy at legacyheating.ca. Good night.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
Game day, the Oilers down in San Jose, set to take on the Sharks. Puck drop about 8:40. We've got pregame coverage with Andrew Walker and Donovan Paulson getting going at 7:30 here on Sports 1440. Game's underway right now. After 20 minutes, Bruins and Canadians are scoreless. The Sens lead the Lightning 1-0, and midway through the first, Avs and Jackets tied at 1 apiece. Later on, you got the Blues hosting the Penguins, Preds in Dallas, Utah taking on the LA Kings, the Ducks travel to Calgary, and the Golden Knights hosting the Winnipeg Jets. Major League Baseball today, 2 games going on right now. Bottom of the third, the Yankees lead the Diamondbacks 4-1, and heading into the second, Reds and Brewers scoreless. Earlier today, Red Sox doubled up the Orioles 8-4. It was the Rockies losing in Philly to the Phillies 3-1, and the Astros get past the Twins 5-2. In the association, it's early, but the Raptors lead the Blazers 18-12 in the first quarter. In the second, Magic up on the Wizards 47-33, and the Bucks have a 54-51 lead over the Philadelphia 76ers. Heat have a 12-16 lead over the Grizz. Later tonight, Warriors taking on the Lakers. That gets going just after 8 o'clock in the WHL. The Vancouver Giants in Spokane taking on the Chiefs. Spokane leads that series 2-1. Puck drop just after 8. And from the NFL, Arizona Cardinals making Pro Bowl tight end Trey McBride the highest paid tight end in NFL history. It's a 4-year deal worth $76 million. That's going to do it for us here on the Jason Gregor Show. We've got Fox Sports Radio coming up from 6 till 7:30, then pregame coverage with Walker and Paulson. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440, a Stingray radio station broadcasting on Treaty 6 territory.
Download the free iHeartRadio app